2-2. Gata. Nice. Bună dimineața, Neața! Bună dimineața, doamnelor și domnilor. Bă, eu abia sunt puțin semi-trezit, m-am trezit acum jumătate de oră, acum o oră, nu vă gândiți că de la 6-7 dimineața, bă, ce faceți? Bă, astăzi avem, acum, în 10 minute avem și finalele pe Asia. Nu sunt cele mai wow, dar poate reușesc să fac deja goal-ul acum. Bine, aș vrea mâine poate să mă uit și la Europa, că alea sunt mai faine de la mine. Ce mai ziceți? De la 6? Bun, bă, astăzi legat de joc, bă, moftiv că eu n-am apucat odată să mai fac episod sau short cu Nano Noodles, pentru că am terminat deja eventul, dacă vedeți. Mi-am deja peste jumătate de abilități, skin-urile le-am pe toate, trebuie doar aici la Brawl pe să joc. Moftică chestia asta, să încerc chiar moftică. Ei, da. Bă, vă rog să votați sincer pe pool-ul de l-am pus, de l-am fixat aici pe chat. Și azi cred că o să ne jucăm la rank. Vreau să bag, să-i dau o șansă la rankul ăsta, să văd ce o să facem, dacă tot e e-sport chestii. Poate mai dăm și niște ladder puțin de aici, e ok. Ok, mersi, stai puțin. Setări. Acum cred că mi-e ok. Bun. Stăm așa puțin chill, vorbim, povestim. Așteptăm să vină și finalele, sincer, că vreau să vă... Sunt și ultimele finale pe anul ăsta, adică e ultimul monthly finals pe care îl vedem. Bă, și-o la nerf mare Star Nova. Și ce mai faci, ea zici? Bă, am zis, am vrut să fac ultimele zile, astea 2-3 zile, nu prea am avut chef de nimic legit. N-am jucat, n-am mai făcut nimic, adică nu... Mă mir că am editat short-urile alea. Mi-am depostat cu record și atâta. Ulterior au expirat și timeout-ul la canal, acum pot să-i dau din nou, i-am dat aplicare cu istoricul canalului, sperăm că o să fie bine următoarele 2 luni. Că și echipa cu plăcere. Wow, ce ghege bun, mă jur. Chiar a fost bun. Eu la 9 m-am trezit. Hai pentru filmat de țări, unde-i? Nice. Hai cu like-uri, chat, cu like-uri până atunci. Și să votați pe pool-ul de la ăsta, pool-ul de este setat pe chat. Că ăsta e cumva subiectul principal. Vreau să fac episoade de tier list, dar vreau să știu despre ce o să fac. I-am dat în cap, nice. Și lui ăsta i-am dat. Wow! Cea mai bună replică, nu must think task. What? Ok. Nu pot bate, nu pot bate. De Edgare, de că te rog, Edgare. Să șteargă jocul Bolt urgent. Nu am... What? Cât heal? Ok, e doar bot, e doar bot. Bot, deci. Nice. Bă, eu sper pe live-ul ăsta să fac deja Legendary 1, adică poate, nu vreau să promit, poate o să fie un live lung azi, poate. Și nu. Bine, nu ară de nou. Ce bine să ară, că nu ară deloc bine azi, pe bune, chiar nu ară bine. A început oare? Acum încep. Ok, stați așa, că trebuie să facem niște setări. Deci asta îl trag aici. Să ne încânte urechile altceva acum decât muzică, ia stați. De asta este să Championship. Gata. Stai să văd dacă se aude în regulă. Da, e ok. Bună dimineața, Victor. Da, se aude bine, noi. Gen, acum se aud finalele de pe astea pe fundal, practic. Dar nu știu, bă, vreți să pun fereastră cu finalele undeva prin colț să fie... Dar sincer, repede de tot, spuneți. Pun fereastră undeva cu finalele. Spuneți. Într-un colț. Mersi mult de compliment, nu mă așteptam. Închide live-ul să vede... Cum, bă, dă-i HP astrale, hai, bă, abia m-am trezit. E ok. E ok, abia m-am trezit, plus că m-am culcat, nici nu știu dacă m-am culcat. Miezul nopții, n-am stat chiar așa mult. E ok. Dacă mă pun să mai fac și o cafea, sunt un. Da, îl știu pe Mr. Jinx. Ziceți, pun o fereastră cu finalele pe undeva? Iată ce am mai găsit în beta log. Nu știu, 1, 12, 1. Mă, bă, Astral, mă, de ce ești rău? De ce? De ce ștergi mesajul la băiat dacă pur și simplu mi-a pus o întrebare normală? Păi nu este nicio promovare, pur și simplu a întrebat dacă îl știu, bro. S-a transformat într-un dezastru ce brain răurile și dură până acest Vic 2026. Ziceți, mă, pun fereastra cu finalele undeva sau ne jucăm în continuare și pur și simplu las sunetul? Aia, dacă nu vreți, dăm în continuare. Eu doar să nu se audă prea tare. Și cred că asta se și întâmplă acum. Îl știți pe Astral Royal? Da. Ce-a prins Verity, YouTube-ul de afară. Asta e tipul cu Roblox pentru copii. Am chefoare de un Rico. Nu cred. Sau? Ne. Da, chiar că dacă ținem poate mai mult, ne jucăm și la turn, dar să văd dacă s-o trezit Electro cu Dari. Yeah. Nu zic anunță cu finale pentru Japonia. Eu te mă. Bă, nu știu ce să fac la chat, mă. Mereu chatul e în engleză. Deci nu știu ce să fac la chat. Chatul e în engleză și mă enervează chestia asta, jur. Deci, ți-a prins asta e tipul coroborul, scoate modul puțin, ce nemenic să fie, scoate un pic modul. Bă, Astrale, bă, nu trebuie să fii rău. Trebuie să fii un urs foarte pașnic. Uite, exact cum este domnul Ren de face giveaway la el pe server. Plankton pin giveaway. Aveți doar 2 ore să vă înscrieți, corect.
And the runner-up of the Repul MEO 2019, he has won a Creator Invitational title, 3 Kaizo Cups, and a single monthly finals back in 2020. Spen, it's great to have you.
Ultimul monthly finals. Uite-l pe Spen! Na, bine, voi nu vedeți, dar este Spen Caster la Asia, ți-a nebunit la cap.
Champion or something? That's pretty historic.
De la World Champion să fie caster skill issue.
We all forgot about it, right? He's also the winner of the World Finals 2019. It's
Open
so
business.
someone who actually knows what he's
Ia
talking
hai mă
about.
că-i bat cu Edgar pe toți fugiți. Ce skin urât am.
It's a brand new meta hitting this stage. Is Zeta
Bă, ce se zice?
Someone uprise today?
I think it's possible. I would like to see SK Kalalas personally finally reach their full potential. But looking at this bracket, they're going to have a long pathway to get there.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to beat Zeta, especially the form that they're in right now. But I feel like we spoke about this pre-show, that the meta is quite favoring Crazy Raccoon.
Păi și Mortisul meu, echipa mea, Mortisul meu vrea să doarmă în pereți, am înțeles.
Because it just seems to be these two titans that just face off every single time.
I would really love to see someone surprise us still at this stage. We had Crazy Raccoon and Zeta Division taking most of the monthly finals so far.
Nice.
For example, could cause a huge upset today. They're qualified for the very first time in the monthly finals. Might also have to
cât de bun sunt, cât de bun sunt.
Now joining the Challenger Circus. Reject is not here today because they decided not to play even.
Yeah, with one less team inside that qualifier bracket, everything kind of threw itself into pandemonium.
Cât de bun sunt! Le fac 1v3 la ăștia. Le-am făcut 1v3 de fiecare dată.
As you can see, Reject is right there. They're the ones who chose to opt out and participate in challenges instead of the BSC.
Challenges excites me as well because there's such a long path towards, through LCQs, towards the World Finals, where only one of these teams makes it to even LCQs. So imagine the storylines there. I think if I was a player, you'd be the first person in history to just go through that absolute gauntlet. I mean, I don't envy that position, but I'd bring the challenge, especially if you're like an SK.
12 different teams from 12 different
Bă, vede, sunt prea bun.
They have still one last shot for glory, one last shot to win a last chance qualifier.
Bună. Eșin. Neața. Uitați-vă și voi, sunt prea buni. Uitați-vă. Cât de clean. Se putea și mai clean, să fie un 13-0. Bine, dar ăsta merită report.
And it will absolutely change this leaderboard because these are the points before the quarterfinals has been played. So once you include those points, SK Kalalas is guaranteed LCQ if they just get.
Dați cu like-uri chat, dați cu like-uri și votați pe pool-ul de l-am setat pe chat. Pe pool-ul de l-am votat, de l-am pus pe chat, doamne.
So they still have a postseason to play for, but truly breaks my heart.
It hurts as well, like you said, it doesn't.
Mai vreau niște Edgar, mai vreau.
It's not even like it's the most.
Bă, Astral, bă, fără din astea, Astrale. Ce exemplu dai tu ca și YouTuber în jur lumea? Bă, Astral, bă.
But to be honest, winning one quarterfinal shouldn't be too difficult.
Bă.
They just need Fennel to not win the whole thing as well.
Ce zice autorul? Na, uitați, idolul vostru.
We just saw the challengers teams, by the way. If you want to see which groups they're in, it got posted, so make sure to stick to our socials and Brawl Stars Esports. And if you want some tickets for the World Finals, you're going to find a link there as well. There's still
Meciul ăsta nu cred că se mai face 13 cu 1.
So make sure to lock those in now. There's not many left from what I understand, so you better do that now. Now, for the first 4 matches of the day, we already locked in our predictions. I'm eager to see if we agree, because on some of them, I wasn't quite sure what to pick. I feel especially the quarterfinal number 2 is kind of a 50-50 throw-up.
Yeah, Arcs with me on that note, and I wonder if he shares the opinion that I think Fennel are just not in a good spot. Looking at the way that they qualify, they just don't seem to strike me as a particularly in a good form at the moment. Whereas Ignum, on the other hand, have just been on the rise, monthly final after monthly final, and they might be a team of rookies, but I think they can bring it home.
I'm a kind of believer in storylines, right? Like, this is the one storyline we're really trying to make happen. And Fennel,
Bun, și-a dat
it's kind of like not a last hurrah for a Choppy, but it's like, it's kind of now or never. Like, if you really want to give it one last final shot, you need to be winning this game. And going even further, like you said. So it's difficult. The rest of them on paper seem a little bit lopsided, but I think the second game is one that we're really honing in on.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you there. Fennel has to win it all today to still turn out to be in the postseason, so they better do that today.
Unlucky.
Just yet, still do so in event.brawlstars.com. You can get these rewards. They're changed every weekend, so you can collect new pins, new sprays, and so on.
Vezi cum m-au dus destul de nice cu
and it's
jump-ul.
the last monthly final, so you better grab that chance. Event.brawlstars.com, and we'll see.
Mi-a blocat un pic contul mare, nu se mai vorbește ce nu mai dau un bloc. Păi n-am mai dat bloc. N-am dat bloc.
Now, Zeta Division is gonna kick things off for us today. They have been the winners also of the July monthly finals. They are the team to watch also from the community, which has been a curse until last month in July. It was actually a blessing.
Mâncam rank boost.
Yeah, wow. I mean, this curse is a little bit. We've been talking about this the entire year, and I don't really know if it's a curse anymore when a team like Zeta Division is performing that consistently. They didn't just win last month; they've won the entirety of the summer split so far. And if they maintain this momentum, they might just go.
Mamă, ce hard au venit.
It is a difficult one because especially leading up to the World Finals for these guys, if you can get that momentum, it's going to be insane, especially for a team like Zeta, where last World Finals, as we've spoke about plenty of times, it's just an unknown what even happened to these guys. But we had a land last month, they nailed it there. Can they go 3-for-3 like you said? I mean, they're in a great position for it. And, you know, I want to see Shy Tampo on the stage again. He's just got so much aura. I want to see him make that big run. So, especially this monthly final as well, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited to see Zeta Division again. They just look like the insurmountable giants right now. They've won the July monthly finals, won the June monthly finals. So in recent history, they look like the team to beat in this region.
And there's no pressure on them. There's no chance that they crack here. They are on land. This is home territory, however. And on the other hand, I mean, they've already qualified in seed number 1. They could literally not show up today practically, and they'd still hold that position. And, you know, looking at the map draft that's coming in here, I think I'm expecting to see Zeta Division go for maps that are, you know, very much mechanical, you know, favoring their mechanics. Whereas I think a team like FA0 Mercy is going to have to rely on a little bit more cheesy stuff if they want to eke out some sets here.
Yeah, that's the type of analysis I was looking at before the show. I was thinking, what maps is Zeta not scrimming so often, and what maps are, you know, their weaknesses? But to be honest, Zeta scrimmed quite a variety of maps, so I feel like they're prepared, and that's maybe what some other teams were lacking in the NBA. I think with Zeta, they've nailed it. I think
am vândut meciul.
A lot of different maps, because a team could be doing the preparation, see that you're not scrimming one map, and just target it. So I think Zeta should be well prepared for this, and, you know, they're a well-oiled machine. They've won 2 monthly finals in a row.
Am vândut meciul, dar nici echipa mea nu-i mai presus.
That's for sure. We saw the map there. Out in the open would be our random decider at the end. We don't only have a map draft now, we also have global.
Am vândut meciul.
Spen, from your standpoint,
asta e, bă.
you were really
E-sports se iau around the big.
You didn't have gadgets.
Ce tari sunt anime-urile.
No global bans. Do you envy these guys getting to play in this current meta, this current state of the game?
A little bit in a way, because back in my days, you know, the prehistoric times, it was completely blind picks, but now you get to choose your fate a lot of the times, and obviously everyone debates a lot about draft, who has draft, blah, 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 but the good teams are the ones that don't blame draft and know that it's winnable most of the times, unless you just draft horrendously, which these teams in this position should not be doing. They've got analysts, they've got coaches, so you see the global bans here. Surge Bolt as well, which is a very wise choice from Zeta, coming up against a team that are relatively unknown. You want to be taking away those cheesy brawlers. Starnova, I'm not surprised by that as well.
Ia mă, vreau
Fair,
să-mi
both
fac
Starnova and
talentul.
Bolt had received the
Să
nerf
devin
just
nou
this
la
Wednesday,
Gachi.
so not too long ago.
Al
we had another
României.
patch, Starnova with 4 nerfs in total, Bolt with 2. I don't know how strong they still are in the current meta, but they certainly seem to believe it is, or they just didn't have time enough to adapt between Wednesday and now. As you've seen, by the way, East Asia is happening as a LAN event again. Super exciting. We hope it all goes well, and we hope those teams enjoy play on the stage yet again.
I think it's so exciting. I think we talked about this backstage a little bit, that FA Zero Mercy, first time qualifying for a monthly final, and they immediately get to play in a LAN. This is very much reminiscent of those pre-COVID days where, you know, the original idea of monthly finals was to fly out teams every single month. I think you were still competing back then, right?
I was, but after winning the World Finals, I didn't qualify for the first one. So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I had a big ego back then, but yeah, like we said, it's very, very exciting. Like these guys, in a way, there's pressure being in the LAN environment, but at the same time, there's no expectations. I think I would rather play the underdog in those situations. You know, not having any pressure. You know, it's Zeta. You know, if you get a set, you get 2. That's great, as you can see by the predictions.
Votes are in. 95% are voting for Zeta Division here. Not a huge surprise, as mentioned. A lot already. Zero Mercy is actually for the first time ever qualified for a monthly finals. I'm excited to see them. If it goes like it did in the past, Zeta Division only dropped 2 sets overall in July. I do hope for them that they are able to at least take a set. And by the way, guys, joke's on you, they're playing from home. FA Zero Mercy is in Hong Kong and Taiwan, so they didn't make their way all the way to the stage. It's Zeta Division all alone on there.
Hold up, you're telling me that they were given a choice to go down and meet and greet
I'm not sure
their
about that.
fans and play, and they decided, you know, I think they were given a choice, but I mean, I don't know what to think of that.
Okay, bro.
Spen, is that a missed opportunity? Because that is for me.
I mean, I want to be
Give
leaving
up.
at that.
Yeah.
Like straight away, like getting a photo with 10 size. Like, even if it 3-0s me, I'm getting a selfie with that guy. Like, yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate.
Well, let's see if they even get to play Tensai and Crazy Raccoon later on. First, they need to beat Zeta, which is going to be a tough opponent. Maybe they chose to be at home just because they feel more comfortable playing there. But I don't know if they actually choose to do so.
Bună, Gaji, bună.
Exactly.
Salut, trebuie să facem giveaway.
Giveaway
cu PES, nu?
Maybe they didn't expect to qualify.
Ia stai
Over the
puțin.
weekend that they had to rush to. But yeah, I mean, this LAN environment, now that we've had 2 opportunities for Japan to have a
What? Am pus ferea. Le-a picat live-ul? Ce-a făcut? Ia stai. Mi-a picat mie netul în canal. Le-a picat lor, e ok. Vă referiți cumva la așa ceva, nu? La PES-ul ăsta vă referiți cumva, nu? Bă, ce-au făcut mă ăștia? Le-au picat site-ul tot, le-a picat, înțeleg. Înțeleg. Bă, le-a picat. Mama voastră, le-a picat ăsta de eSports. Stați să ne mutăm pe YouTube cu Watch Party-ul. Le-a picat site-ul în situație.
Gata, would probably avoid wanting to play Zeta Division on, you know, the type of brawler where they pick a Gus, they pick an RT, and just outrange you and pinch you. But like I said, it's a little bit of cheese potential. I think open business, whenever I think of that map, I always reminisce to when they faced off against Bobby and how perfectly they played that map. That it was quite clear that was their favorite map.
I hear they're ready to kick things off now. We are 2, Zeta Division versus FA Mercy. And to kick us
Mamă,
off
ce era
for
să
the
iau,
August monthly
Doamne.
finals, we're gonna be an open business immediately. A map where you want
Ia,
a lot
să
of
începem
area control.
forță.
Brawlers like
Ăștia
Lou
banează,
and
draftează,
Lumi
fac
definitely will
chestii
show up
frice.
here. Both of them either banned or picked immediately. Zeta with a very control-based first pick here, Spen.
Yeah, I was literally thinking Lumi's straight the way. Lumi's such a good brawler on this map. The zoning just gives you instant time. There's not really a lot of counters to it. One brawler I've been noticing quite a lot. I was literally about to mention Stu. They stole my spotlight. I was about to say, in this meta, I'm seeing so much Stu right now. It's just so good into so many different things. You've also got the speed zone turret, which I don't think it's intended. It's a little bit faster than it should be, so that also giving it a bit of a boost.
It's very versatile. I think that's what it makes it a very, very good 2-3 pick. If you want to lean into more wall breaks, double up with a Griff, for example.
Putem să joc cu bine.
Now this Mina coming
Și de ce am
is a
primul
bit
star
of a
power?
familiar pick there from FA0 Mercy. This was a weapon that they really relied on throughout the entirety of qualifiers. Not surprised to see it here.
Barry also had a huge comeback into the meta. Definitely makes sense here to get with the Damien. Damien shows up quite often still. He has received a whole bunch of nerfs. He's still fairly strong into the right matchup. Now we don't really have too much range so far on the right hand side. I would like to see something that can go up against this Lumi.
I'm a bit undecided what we can go last pick, especially into a Berry Damon composition. Like
Wall break, maybe?
potentially.
Nice.
Okay, that's actually
I'm a
good.
bit
No range.
No range, but Bull does shut down Damien quite well. I learned that firsthand in ranked. He destroys Damien, but Bull in this meta, he's
Dar
falling
chiar
down
că
a lot.
mâine,
I mean,
vai,
if
vedeți că
they're
mâine
gonna
aș vrea de
win, it's
fapt să
gotta be
facem live, că mâine joacă ei, Talent Slab joacă, stai. Stai că acum mi-am amintit, cred că mâine mai facem un live.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
This is the very first time ever we get to see FA0 Mercy in a month
Abia aștept
final. I'm so
Halloween-ul.
hyped to see this.
Perioada mea
And
favorită,
I'm
ai
hoping
văzut
fingers
tactica
crossed
cu
personally
Nipple
for
și
them to
Rico
do well
Gadget?
today.
Nu, n-am văzut-o,
Jumping
sincer.
into set number 1, Zeta Division here. The undisputed kings of East Asia go up against a last-minute underdog, and a Scurry has already emerged inside the mid, with Zeta taking full control thanks to that wall of sound. A full team wipe emerging here as Prodigy desperately tries to stay alive.
I mean, if you're looking to counter Stu, this is the perfect way. Any type of heal, any type of big help,
Acum
and
să
coming down
fiu
from
pe
Batman
oco.
already, a big jump already. We saw.
Hai că imediat ajungem în Mythic 1 și dormim în draft. Imediat
So long
ajungem.
to get back. He's only going to be gaining that through the tank trait, getting outrange punished. It's the demolition so far.
Already 55%. The Lumi Hypercharge is a bit of a whiff there, but not even necessary for them to continue to play the point. Suzuku is just doing so much healing with Batman launching off yet another super. Fatbear, though, tries to chain off, getting 2 supers in a row, but not going to be able to collect any more than that.
It looks so comfortable. Berry's just healing consistently, and there's just nothing that they can even do. Simon tries his best, but how is Amino going to be able to take down all of that? I mean, it's just easy for Zeta so far. I mean, it looks like a
Suntem
quite
cu...
heavy outdraft. The ball, like I said, it used to be good a couple of months ago, but I think unless you're pairing a ball with like a Ruffs or something to feed ball hypercharge, that's the only reason you're using ball, right? Hypercharge to get some team wipes, but I don't think he even got it there.
Indeed, I don't even think the ball is the problem at this point. I think the 2-3 turn with the Stu and the Mina opened up this vulnerability that, you know, there's just no damage on their side. Let's Barry get sets up so easily, and this Lumi gadget just allows them such an easy access into the mid. That synergy between Grim and Frostbitten and that wall of sound. Now Fatbear's gonna be able to get at least 1 kill, potentially getting another one onto Saitama, but he's the last man standing, staying alive, even going to continue to pressure Simon here.
Oh, and the Berry
Echipa nu a
heals
fost pe
come in as
hartă,
well.
înțeleg,
There was ever a
înțeleg.
time to try and get some control, but needed to do it just there. Batman's going to jump in again, and even after the recent nerfs to Damien, oh, the hypercharge already coming in from Fatbear. He's going to get 2 of them, and finally some control. This is looking much better, but they need to be earning that next full hypercharge as soon as possible. Let's see if they can fend it off Shy Tampo and Co.
Prodigy's holding strong inside the mid. Simon goes aggressive there on Suzuku. Going to be falling down
Yeah,
here
for
up against
Drum, man.
Saitama. And Suzuku there with the hypercharge going to be keeping his team topped up. Prodigy
Yeah,
doesn't have the
făcut
damage
acolo.
to break through this roster. It's all on Fatbat to try and bring back some momentum here.
They need to try and take down this Berry, but it's just a brick wall so far. He's getting taken down easily. Prodigy with a hypercharge Stu super. But what is the Stu going to do?
Nice.
It's 3 people grouped up,
Nice.
healing up together. They're just
free
having a
matchup.
siesta out there.
They're literally having a party here. There's not much left that can be done. Fatback's gonna desperately try and go in again, but the charge is moot.
Frână, Grum, ușor, Grum, ușor.
That was absolutely dominant from them. I saw some signs of life from our fellow underdogs, but really that was just all a Zeta dominating.
I felt like they just did everything there. The gameplay, the draft was beautiful as well. This is one thing we talk about a lot with East Asia, but it feels like they've taken some leaves out of EMEA's book there. EMEA just
Entitatea face azi live. Dacă face entitatea live.
Synergy with good communication, you can easily change your supers and keep everyone top. I don't think there's really any doubt there after watching the comp, after watching the gameplay, that they were going to lose this set. Bar one really good play from Fatback.
I think you try this Vardas there. The early game for them looks somewhat promising. They got a really early hypercharge on that bull. But I think when it comes to target selection, Fatback couldn't really find a good connections. Siddharth did so much damage as every time the bull came in, and by the time he made that connection, Shizuku is ready with the gadgets, and just looking at the stats, only Fatback and Simon has kills to his name. You got Prodigy with a little bit of zone percentage, but truly all the stats are favoring Zeta here.
Really looked like Shadampo could do whatever he wanted. 600 DPS, that's more than we've ever seen.
Păi ne-ar trebui să pun și eu așa pentru următorul live să facem măcar 35 de like-uri. Ar trebui să pun și eu așa, legit. Păi dar ce facem noi aici? Facem live pentru 3 persoane.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward. Like, Bull, I think you need some bushes at least to, like, so you're able to close the gap that little bit better. Against a good team like Zeta, they're very disciplined, and especially into a Lumi. Lumi can just keep you at bay so easily with the slows.
It was a tempo lead, I think, that Zeta, had from the very beginning with that Grim and Frostbitten plus the Wall of Sound. That I think this, underdog team didn't really consider that. Bull is a brawler that does indeed take a super to come online, and at that point, by the time he actually came online with a single hypercharge, the game was over.
Mortis comes out of Zeta Division immediately. They usually like to pair this with a Byron, which I would love to see here. Also left open still. Now on the right side, let's see if they're gonna show something creative again. I honestly don't mind it when the underdog teams try something new. That Bull could have very well worked out, because Zeta is also just not.
Nu știm cu ce giveaway, nu știm.
I think with Mortis, he's been going down the meta a little bit, and you're starting to see picking Siren. I think they might pair this with a Fang, the brawler that I wanted to mention real quick before they snag it away from me. Fang was really popping off in the last meta, not played so much because Mortis isn't being played so much. So I think at this point, just maybe lock in the Fang.
Could be 2-3 Byron Fang.
Nice.
I think could be a good shot. But there's only one matchup here in the form of that Mortis. I think he was really popular in other types of knockout maps like in the Open, because Damien was also really popular.
And that was kind of a matchup that the Fang would be running down. Bă, votați acolo în pool-ul de pe chat, ca să știu despre ce tier listuri să fac. Deci avem cuplieri din România, că trebuie niște dramă, puțină dramă trebuie. Tier listuri off-topic, adică ieșim din zona de Brawl Stars, poate facem cu alte lucruri, tier listuri. Tier listuri legate de Brawl, update-uri, tematici, brawleri, funcții, gacha-uri, skin-uri, de toate, efectiv, dacă se alege varianta cu tier listuri legate de Brawl, ăsta este un anim, sau Piper, o Piper am chef. Și tier list cu invitat special, poate aducem niște persoane să ne dăm cu părerea, să nu fiu doar eu. Votați acolo pe pool.
Like I said, maybe Fang was a bit too early, but right now it's got unbelievable matchups. I know we've got the knockback with Pierce.
Bă, iar eu nu știu.
The Leon into it, and here we go.
You're a genius!
This is what you brought me here for. I'm a genius.
This is why he's a world champion. He's absolutely bringing the world champ diff here.
But they've still got to actually perform with it. It's a risky brawler, especially if you've got some nerves. You need to really lock in here if you're playing the Fang.
Definitely a winnable matchup here for the side of Zero Mercy. Now, can they win a match against the biggest team in East Asia, even if they have draft?
Well, I don't know if they necessarily have draft. I would say that there's still some holes in it. For one, Blue Star is not going to be in their favor, and it's a lot riding on this Fang. Let's see if he can make it work now.
I like the Meg as well. Meg is one of the most frustrating brawlers in the meta for me, and especially why Mortis is falling down a little bit. Meg's survivability is insane, and now you're pairing it with a Byron. Whenever you get close to Meg, she's just going to throw out the toolbox. All she has to do is hit one shot, and she's back into her mech at full health. So, yeah, like I said, pick up.
Bine, nu mi-e rușine cu Emzu meu. Asta e toată faza, că nu mi-e rușine cu Emzu meu. E ok.
And on the side, Batman's already completely crushing Prodigy here. You can tell he's swapped over to the mid, just opting to play more of that cleric role, heal up his brawlers.
Nu, îmi este rușine cu Emzul meu.
Strength of the Mortis, he can just dart to the back line, claim one kill so easily, and while the enemies are disjointed, just reposition with the rest. This is Zeta showing us how this brawler is played.
Tambo's gonna go invisible here. He's gonna have a good time against the Meg, because I believe she used to
Măcar dacă nu...
Great kill from Bugbear now, but they still need to find one more. But with Bounty, it's all about patience, all about not overextending, making sure when you get a kill.
Ce-ar a fost mai mult pagubă, înțeleg.
So Fang needs to just follow the Mortis around. Of course, it's pretty hard. Mortis is very mobile, but just follow the.
Ia vedem ce fac ăștia, se bate, își rup capul pe aici, asiaticii. Iată pe ăștia pe Hideout joacă Mortis, Leon, Pierce vs Meg, Byron, Fang. Fang. Pe Hideout. Vezi că e pic destul de nice.
I'm amazed that they didn't go for it, but again, it's fine. They've got the pressure in the end. They just need to find that one kill. Tempo's got a hypercharge and a super to use here. Let's see if he can target the Byron at least. Meg's getting some great pressure here at the end. Can be doing.
Pressed against the wall, there's in the division, one member goes down there, the toolbox, as you mentioned, is critical.
Ia, ne mai facem talentul, îi luăm noi locul lui Agaci cu Pixul, bă, vede, bă.
FA0 Mercy will be taking a game here.
They won a game. They won a game. We're celebrating. I mean, that's exactly what
we needed to do. Cum ar fi să fie Emzu din meciul trecut? Păi eu leșin aici.
And especially in a game mode like Bounty, I'll always talk about pressure. It's one thing that maybe viewers at home might not pick up on, but it's when you're forcing somebody back, eventually you're going to find a kill. They've got nowhere to go, and especially with some pop-up brawlers with Meg, with Fang, they're going to find it.
Aia stă pe loc, înțeleg.
Keep going the way of Zeta this time around. And I think this time around, they're a little bit more angry. They've just lost the game. They're a bit more aggressive at the start.
Yeah, I think they made the call. They realized that
am nimerit și-o de toți banii.
The brawlers that they're playing are not the most defensive. It's not like you're playing a Pam or Lola. They can just hold down the lane, auto-aim yourself to oblivion. There's no Pearl on their side either. So opting to go on the aggressive just might be a good call.
Yeah, and this is the problem with the Leon pick as well. Leon used to be good in the previous meta, but his only free kill is going to be into Byron, but only Fang when you've got a hypercharge super, and it takes a while to build that up. So
bă, no, n-ați văzut nimic, ok? N-ați văzut nimic.
Now pushed back into that similar position as game number one. Tampo is getting dangerously close to that super. He pops it now, and Simon is a little bit vulnerable, but scouted out there by the vision gear. A two-pronged punch will bring him down there, and that's going to bring the star lead up to 3-0.
That synergy was just beautiful.
Bă, mă judecă ăsta.
The small things, the Fang goes in. That nearly connected onto Batman as well. Tampo is so weak. They need to keep up the pressure. Byron super as well. Just throw it onto anyone. Great tap by Prodigy. Misses the Byron super though. They need to find a kill onto Suzuku, and that's going to be incredibly difficult with a hypercharge super coming down.
Bă, n-am fost cel mai bun pe meciul ăsta. Nu am existat pe hartă. Eu chiar n-am existat pe hartă.
Trade it out as well.
It's good time as well. 20 seconds left on the clock. Zeta Division just need to stall, and you can see Tampo pops that hypercharge, goes forward with that invisibility plus the healing. But he's fallen back into a similar position. Only 10 seconds left on the clock. Batman does have that gadget. He's going to be doing so much zoning there on Tampo. Nowhere to go out here, but he actually goes on a solo mission up against Prodigy, trading it out. It's going to come down to the interaction here on the right, and Suzuku in the back line cleans it up for Zeta Division. They will tie the setup.
That was pure ice, and in that position, I would even be shaking, but Suzuku, he just knows he can easily find a kill. He knows the maths. He's that good. These pros just know that sort of thing. Really cool interaction there. And what I really loved about this game in particular was Tampo was using his super a lot more effectively and in communication with Suzuku. So if Leon got somebody weak, Suzuku can just go in, finish.
Ne pică iar live-ul sau mie netul.
Prodigy did manage to get a fair amount of taps there, and that's going to put us in an awkward spot for Zeta. This is the first time they have been behind the entire series.
And now I'm interested to see how Zero Mercy's comp fares off when the backs are against the wall. The Fang gadget as well, by the way, is a great counter to a Leon Super. If he can time it perfectly, he's going to scout out that Leon Super. So Shy Tampa, I think, has just done an amazing job to get as much value as he has. Prodigy with some decent taps. Suku's going to get some pressure down the left-hand side. Byron's got to be very careful here. I know they're leaving him very vulnerable because you don't want to group up too much with a Mortis, but Baron's just such a free kill for either of these aggro brawlers, and now we can see Shy Tampa with a super. He's surely going to get a free kill here, but is he going to get traded out? 700 health.
He does, indeed, and it's going to be another kill there onto Batman, the next member to fall. They wanted to follow up there, but you saw Simon's positioning, just beautiful, putting himself between the rest of the roster, while Fatbat went in the back to clean that up. Zeta Division, they are now down by 3 stars and only 40 seconds left on the clock to claim this one.
Oh, great kill there. I was really struggling, like trying to find a way how Simon could get his mech back, but he's allowed to die in this situation. Just 1 star in it. Shy Tampa is going to go in on Meg. I think they have the toolbox available.
Demolare.
But yes, he does use it a little bit too late though, but Meg just shreds anything.
Demolare.
So hard, as long as you're very disciplined here. But with 19 seconds left, Zeta are putting under pressure early.
Hypercharge popped there by City Tampo, but no super to follow up with. This is Battleman there with that super. Pierces through absolutely everything. Prodigy gonna go down there. Fatback at once to make a play on that right lane. He has to go now, but he doesn't have the help. No connections from him. And Zeta Division will rob Zero Mercy of a set that they should have won.
That's gut-wrenching, it really is. I really wanted Zero Mercy just to pick up 1 set against Zeta. I'll be putting that in my Twitter bio if I manage to do that nowadays.
I think that was very winnable, that situation on the top left. Maybe the mech could have body blocked for the Byron a little bit more, just getting healed up from him in the back. But other than that, not too many mistakes from Zero Mercy. They played that so well, especially Fat Bear. How patient he played. He never went in when he wasn't sure he would get a kill out of it and survive it, which is the hardest part about Fang. Usually you go in, but then you fall, you trade out, it went to nothing.
I was really impressed. I think Zero Mercy, I mean, even this is just an audition in the, for the 2027 season, but they are showing up to play. This is their first monthly final ever, and I don't think that they're playing like a team that is as unseasoned. I mean, as you guys already mentioned, they did have an amazing draft, and these stats almost mirrored 3-5-1, 3-5-2 on both teams. Yeah, this is an amazing series to catch.
Yeah, they did great. I mean, like I said, but when you're in this position, you've not got too much pressure, right? Like, you want to be showing the world what you're capable of. So, like Sonny alluded to, the Fang plays were really good because I know it firsthand that I can't really play aggressive brawlers because you need to be patient on aggressive brawler, weirdly enough. If you waste your utility, you're just a sitting duck. So, I think he played that amazingly, but need to use this momentum now and belief to at least try and pick up this 3rd set.
I'd love to see it. Simply taking a set of Zeta Division is something that not many teams managed to do in the last 2 months. I would love to see a team like FA Mercy, who show up in the monthly finals for the first time ever, do exactly that. If they win it all, hey, we have our storyline of the day, so I'm happy with that too. We're now heading over to Triple. I do hope they already ban out Shade, because Statampa is just so good on that brawler. He's going to do so well. It is the map pick of Zero Mercy, so that's something to put out there. Maybe they feel a bit more comfortable on a map like this one. Shade could be super good on here. What shows up recently, Rico and Stu, you mentioned earlier. Stu just so strong at the moment at any mid-range map.
I think with, like you said, one thing that really annoys me, especially about the map, like the brawler-specific bans at the start, especially in Brawl Cup, we spoke about, like with Angel Boy with Mina. When you think about Shy Tampo and Zeta, like you mentioned, you've got to be banning the Shade, and it's exactly what they do. There's like these really obvious things. Some people and some teams are like, okay, well, they're just gonna go Shade, right? We can counter it, but sometimes you just can't. When someone is that good on that brawler, just ban it out. So I'm glad Zero Mercy have done that.
It's the smartest thing they could have done today. They're banning out the Mo and the Rico as well. Good shouts there from Sunny. As usual, these are all brawlers that I think are just so easy for, Zeta to pick up.
No,
this is arguably, I think
investment.
you have to snatch up the Lumi. You can't just allow Zeta to get a free Lumi 2-3 together with a thrower. So they're going to deny that from them, but Zeta, they snap back immediately with this Willow and the Meeple. That covers nearly all their bases here, actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head, like...
Să știi cumva când apar skin-urile de pirați? Nu știu, n-avem o dată, n-avem o dată.
So far, they seem to steal away Zeta's
Chiar nu
so
știu
they
să zic
definitely
când.
have Data.
Eu
With
estimez
Zeta
pe la
100%
mijloc, maxim
So
sfârșitul
it is
august.
very
Deci,
wise to break
acum,
the domain for
săptămâna
yourself.
asta
Now, they
sau
already have the
săptămâna
range, they
viitoare,
have
nu
something to
cred.
deal with that Meeple. They need something to deal with Willow. Cordelius is open, for example. Would be a great answer, I think.
Sashimi style though, that's the aggressive option they're gonna opt to go for. Not the most traditional of tanks here, but it does work very well inside triple dribble. It is one of the few brawlers that also doesn't immediately get burst down by the Meeple. I love the Hosumaki healing for that, and it can be cheeky for the Willow to control, so a little bit of a risk here for them to go for this.
I feel like they could go a throw, but then if you're going to thrower, you're risking like a thrower and Lumi are vulnerable together. Ems is okay, but against a team like Zeta Division, I feel like they could get pinched out pretty easily. Cordelius, potentially, especially if you jump into the Ems' face.
I meant more for them to jump into the Willow's face.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone with that.
Missed opportunity maybe, but I can see the vision, right? They want to grab that second gadget from the M's, just push off a really, really good catch and then try and maybe secure one goal. Subsequently, maybe play off a Kenji hyper charge to get the second going. And yeah, actually, I'm super surprised to see this. The Zeta Division is the one that's opting to play more of a reject comp. They're playing a very control style, whereas FA Zero Mercy, there's really very small margins of error here for their comp to succeed, but it can work.
Nice.
Now, yeah, it can work, but my question would be, do they have a winnable draft in this one, Sven? No one better to answer that than you.
I think they do, but it's tough, especially against a team like Zeta. Kenji is one of my favorite picks in triple dribble, just because of the pressure that you can put out. But can he follow up with connecting supers and everything else?
Bun, acum se doarme în draft, băieți. De acum dormim mult și bine în draft.
Easy time. The
Că
Meeple
de
box already
rankul
provided
trebuie să
so
fie
much value.
preșuat.
Yeah, I mentioned that they have to have a good early game, but how do you get a good early game up against Mansions of Meeple? That's a failed attempt there from the Kenji and Fat Bear using the gadget, but it was completely whiffed. And that's Zeta Division now in full control. And the second box is going to catch out three. Thankfully, Simon will break through. You see Suzuku there goes for an interesting play there. Opts to control it, but just too much damage there from Fat Bear brings him down.
I think they were a bit too confident in that moment. They were just playing like in second gear. They just knew, well, they thought they would be able to score that. So one weakness from Zero Mercy's comp is clearly going to be their lack of range, right? Ems, Lumi, they're getting outranged quite easily by the Meeple and their Otis in particular here. But if Simon can get a super onto any of them, he gets a connection onto Batman, the kill from Shy Tampo onto Shy Tampo as well. And that's going to be an early-ish goal from Zero Mercy. Really well played there.
One mistake from Zeta Division gone completely punished there by FA Zero Mercy.
Serge, că e vina mea că ești tu bot și că nu știi să iei brawler și dacă nu vreau să iau Serge. Dar hai că iau Serge, că sincer chiar sunt în cup dacă nu iau.
With so much time on the clock, you can easily cycle
Păi
out
dacă-s
forwards
boți,
if needed to.
mă spamează pe mine cu Serge, dar nu-i capabil să aibă brawler maxat.
It looks like an easy goal for Zeta, but a bit of a blunder there, but nevertheless they get the ball back quite easily. They respond in good due time as well. Let's see whether Simon can pop off with his Kenji hyper charge.
It's going to be coming down to him. Batman's the target there. Get caught there by the Grim Frostbitten. You now see Simon trying to play fickle there with Suzuka, who's going to miss things out there. Well played there by Simon. Is going to open a pathway for Zero Mercy to get a goal and the game.
They're really in this game, surprisingly. The bounty game, they were really in that just a small margin of error. And in Brawl Ball, they're taking their opportunities so good. What I loved about Simon there, the first time he supered onto the Willow, Willow just dived down. And then it was like, oh yeah, she's got that ability. He was so disciplined at the end there. It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, he did
Ăla nu poate bate,
I can do
doar
that
am
too. You know, you got a
înțeles.
super, I'll dodge it, I'll make you look a bit stupid. I did it to City Tampo, I can do it to Suzuku as well. A better start now there from FA Zero Mercy. No one getting caught there by the Mansions of Meeple. That's a good sign. And now on the second rung of pressure, Simon is just doing so much, and there's no utility online there for Zeta to stop him.
Simon very weak here, but Fatbear's going to go in for the kill. But the ball's not in the greatest of positions to really do much about that. Wasted utility there from Prodigy as well. Zeta reining back the control. I feel like all they need to do this time around, Zeta, is overextend too much. Finally, Suzuku connects the super onto Simon. That's going to get a lot of
Ai mei nu pot bate un Edgar.
Now they need to utilize the weakness of Zero Mercy here. Two players are weak. Mansions of Meeple is going down. That's surely an easy kill onto Prodigy. Can Shy Tampa walk this one in? The mute
Nu o bătut un Edgar.
A bit of a questionable hit from Decideți. Could have opted to pass it over to Suzuki, but nonetheless, the ball control remains with them, and they are in very good control. But Decideți got caught there a little bit. Batman's gonna pop the hypercharge to try and compensate for this. He's opting to go for Prodigy, choosing target, gets the ball over, tries to get it in, but couldn't pocket the ball there. Great defense there from Zero Mercy.
Honestly, how did he defend that? That was insane. I thought Willow's super, surely he's going to score that. That was a great dodge, but can they get out of spawn? They're getting spawn trapped. It's relentless in triple dribble. Hypercharges galore here from Zeta. A hypercharge super surely going to confirm the kill onto Ems. Can strike tempo, pick up the ball. Hypercharge here as well. Surely this is a walk-in. Another missed pass. Lumi's going to get the kill, but surely there's enough help in this. Batman barely walks it in. That was nearly the defense of the century there.
Oh man, I felt like that was a little bit of Zeta playing with their food here. Maybe they were just farming up their supers there, but yeah, I mean, could be the land nerves as well here in the second set though. They're just absolutely dominating, just in full control, getting 2 kills, and now patience from them. They're in the same position that we just saw 30 seconds ago.
The kill's going to go through from Fat Bear though. There's a little bit of pressure. With 15 seconds left, can they build up an attack in time? They need Simon to try and get some pressure as quickly as possible. Willow's super's going to be hard for the Kenji to deal with. With 8 seconds left, let's see whether Simon can get into a good position. He's just going to get boxed up. Fat Bear also maybe in a good position now. He's going to get walked away. Surely Zeta will home with that game. That was way more comfortable that time around. I didn't really feel like there was any opportunities there for Zero Mercy.
Yeah, it feels like Zeta are playing a comp that as long as they don't make any mistakes, on paper, they can deal with any situation. I'm not saying it's a winning draft necessarily. It still takes an insane amount of team play and discipline to cover all your bases. But I love this adaptation from Zero Mercy. They know Mansions of Meeple is just too strong here, and they're happy to play from behind.
Zero Mercy this time around. I don't even know what we can realistically do because the Ems and Lumi are just getting outranged so easily. It's just all the keys are in Simor's hands. He needs to be able to try and make a pop-off play here with his Kenji super, but it's hard when there's 3 good damage dealers on the side of Zeta, but we're in a great position here. Unfortunately, Fat Bear, he gets boxed out and an easy takedown, but again, pressure wins you games. If they can keep this map positioning, they'll be in a good chance once all 3 members are alive. But Simon, he said screw that. He's going to go in anyways and maybe a bit too aggressive there.
Most certainly too aggressive here. It does buy time for Fat Bear to get in a little closer and get a nice kill there on the Cinetampo, but without their stalwart, strong little pseudo-assassin here, they can't really do anything. Simon's just going to go down here to get another Mansions of Meeple, and that's going to be Zeta regaining full control here.
I just don't see a way how Zeta are not going to score in this position. It's now 3 versus 1 with an Otis mute as well. Surely
de acum am văzut mesajul Bardia sau doar review nu.
Okay, that was close.
Este un bă, dacă vrei tu gaji, ok.
I wouldn't really say nerves from Zeta. I think they're getting some.
Da, termin meciul și putem băga niște rank dacă vrei așa puțin. Acum văd eu cum văd. Eram prea focusat pe supăratul ăla.
Forcing a Tambo to walk in, taking the set 3-0.
Wow, that was insane from Zero Mercy. Obviously fair play. I know they didn't win a set, and I kind of felt bad, like even rooting for them to win a set, right? Sometimes that can feel a little bit demoralizing, but they really did themselves proud, especially like you mentioned, going into the next season. Honestly, there's a couple of players on that roster that could easily pick themselves up on a great roster next year.
I hope they get picked up. You saw now what they can do. They are amongst the top 8 this month of East Asia, so definitely a couple of players that we should look into. I really like what we saw from them today. They came close twice to actually snatch a set of the hands of Safe Division, which again is something that many rosters with a lot more experience didn't manage to do this season.
And very bold drafting. Coming out from them. I don't know if they have a coach, but they've really put Hong Kong and Taiwan on the map this year. They were the only team to qualify from those 2 countries across the entire monthly regular season, and here they are, you know, making their debut up against Zeta Division, but they were just too strong as usual.
Yeah, and you can just see it. The kills were in there. The Lumi first pick is quite interesting to see how Zeta respond to Lumi first pick, because if you're saying by the data, right? Zeta like to go Lumi a lot themselves. So I think other teams leading up, facing off against Zeta in the semi-finals, they need to be using Zeta's own draft strategy against them here, potentially.
13 kills in the end on a Batman. In the end, it's not about kills, of course, on Brawl Ball, but if you make sure that nobody else is standing on the other side, you probably win the set here. Zeta Division look as dominant as always. My biggest questions coming into the show today, Spoo, was will they win it all again? Or do we have a team that can upset them and surprise us at this last stage of the regular season?
One thing's for sure, I think it's possible. Now that I've seen Zeta Division's performance here in the quarterfinals, I'm a little bit concerned. You know, they don't look like they're playing absolutely perfectly. They are making some minor inaccuracies here and there. But coming into this next series, I think regardless of whether they face Ignem or Fennel, they will unveil for sure whether they are in form today.
We bring you one of the smoothest voices and prettiest faces in all of Brawl Stars. Ark is back with us on the desk here.
I'll take it.
You watched that match in the background. Who are you rooting for, be honest?
I'm always an underdog rooter, you know that. I mean, there was some glimmers, some hopes, some amazing turnarounds by Zeta. I agree with you guys. Amazing turnarounds by Zeta. I agree with you guys. I don't think that Zeta are looking on their full form here today so far, but it's still early days, right? We have no idea how they're going to fare later on. I think it's better for them to be in that location. Obviously, having the fans is going to give you that lift, so.
I'd like to see an all-new winner here at the last stage. It's the August
Wow.
of the Decideți
Okay, bro. Okay,
LCQ
wow.
World Finals, challengers still in between.
Da,
And
trebuie să se
yeah,
lase,
that's
trebuie
it.
să
So
se
you
lase,
better
trebuie
get
să
your
se
tickets.
lase de
Zeta
jocuri
Division is, by
gen.
the way, one of the teams who
Random.
is going to the World Finals already. They're currently in that #1 seed. So if you want to meet them in person, get your tickets. There's still a couple of them out there, not too many, so be quick. Now, for our next match in this series today, it's Ignem Esports versus Fennel. And this is such an interesting one, because what has to happen today in order for Fennel to still clutch an LCQ slot, Spoo?
They have to win it all, and they have to pray to everything that SK Kalalas loses their quarterfinals. That is the only pathway for Achapi to actually make LCQ. And I just want to point out that Achapi has not missed a postseason in the last 5 years. It would be a massive upset for him to not show up in this one.
They're trailing 74 points behind SK Kalalas at the moment. They need a win today. They need SK Kalalas to lose in the quarterfinals. And Fennel almost made it to Challengers too, so it's heartbreaking if they wouldn't make it even to LCQ, Ark.
That was where, for me, I felt that they had the best chance and was kind of certain that they would at least be able to make challenges. So, I mean, it's really quite heartbreaking to see like that they are actually in this position now. I think that it's not only what they have to do right today.
My bad.
Hoping on the other side of things, SK Kalalas have a downfall. And that's never a place that you want to be, ever. You want to be able to take control from start to finish. So not only does everything have to go right for them,
Bă, sincer, e și vina mea, adică n-am făcut până acum nimica.
In the end, for challenges, it was Reject taking that spot away, kind of playing spoilsport for Fennel. We have another team that did that coming into the monthly finals. Ignem Esports, they're out of postseason contention, but they did a couple of very funny things. Well, not so funny for Rival. They play spoiler for so many teams this month. They have another chance to also beat Fennel and knock them out of LCQ contention. Rival was sitting in that LCQ slot, but they lost to Ignem 3-2 in the qualifiers. And now they're out. They can't do anything about it anymore.
Disastrous. I mean, absolutely disastrous. I mean, you got to remember that, you know, back in July, they lost to Rival Esports in those qualifiers, so they got their revenge.
Nu, ce-am făcut, doamne, am vândut. Dar de ce nu pot să mă apropii cu Mico? Trebuia să-mi iau celălalt gadget. Trebuia atunci să-mi iau celălalt gadget, dacă știam că nu ajung.
SK Kalalas and Rival Esports, we've been building up the hype the whole time. Real Hayes revenge redemption arc.
Ok, jucăm după ce termine aici, gaje, stai să termin.
Even show up today. He just chokes at the last second, and my heart goes out to them because I don't think anyone would have even thought at the start of this year that Rival would have been third in the leaderboard. So now it's kind of like did the timeline correct itself?
Și m-o făcut de boala Poli.
Gets to shine.
We painted you a little triangle between Fennel, SK Kalalas, and what has to happen in order for Fennel to still qualify through. They need to win this and then all the other coming matches today in order to beat SK Kalalas for the LCQ slot. Well, in the monthly qualifiers, they lost to SK Kalalas, so if they can't win against their biggest rival in this leaderboard, it's really tough for them. They come through the lower bracket here. Ignum demolished the competition. So there's
Dude!
once again.
Nu mai joc Mico în viața mea, nu. Ștergeți meciul ăsta, decât ștergeți-mi. Vă rog să-l ștergeți din betelogul meu, atât vă rog. Ștergeți meciul ăsta din betelogul meu.
You two said Ignum Esports. Explain a bit further, please.
Ștergeți meciul din betelogul meu, vă rog, atâta vă zic.
Personally, I wasn't really looking at Ignum. I saw how they beat Rival and I was kind of impressed, but it was more of looking at Fennel's Challengers performance that really stood out to me as this is a team that is kind of grasping at the straws at the moment. It almost feels like there's some kind of internal issue going on inside the team and they're not meshing. And here at the last second, I don't know if they can pull it together. That's why I went with Ignum.
For me, it's super simple. I mean, back in February, they made the grand finals. But ever since February, it's just been getting progressively worse. I mean, you didn't qualify in March, you didn't qualify in July, you had 2 qualifiers in April, June.
Corect. La mulți ani sau Cane, la mulți ani. Să crești mare, sănătos și la cât mai mulți bani ca ai deja.
I think that certainly when you've got that additional pressure behind you, it does elevate your performance somewhat. But I mean, again, I think getting ahead of ourselves to think that they can go all the way today. But the quarterfinals, I'm open to.
I want to say now, who are you siding with? Do you believe, like those two, Ignum is going to take this one, or Spen and I said Fennel is taking it? So you better lock in your predictions over on event.allstars.com, and we will show on stream also what you have predicted at home. You don't go home empty-handed either. You will get these rewards if you get your predictions right. A pin at the very end. Next weekend we're going to mix them up again, so you get different rewards every single weekend. It's so worth it to lock in those predictions. And I'm honest, I didn't do every single prediction on the website because I kind of am busy these weekends, you know?
You forgot! With the mirror, though. Can we talk about
I need
how
these
epic
points
that is?
today. I'm just saying, I locked in my predictions for today. I need the points, so please go to the
button press.
You could do it live, technically, on the desk. You could just open up event.brawlstar.
I'm definitely not doing that myself.
We could do it in we could do an infinity mirror at this point. You know, just us watching us do predictions of us watching us doing predictions of us.
Inception.
I mean, we get to control the button press, right? So we could just kind of like pull a fast.
Oh yeah, that game was great. Let's push it right now.
I want to see it play.
Let's look at some important things, guys. We already know which two teams are going to play against each other, but we don't know where yet. So let's have a look at the map draft here. Fennel got the first pick here as the lower seed. They got to choose who wants to go first. They chose to go first with Dueling Beetles, which is so funny. Spoo, I can show you here as well. Ignum
win rate.
played the map twice in scrims and they won it 0 times. So picking Dueling Beetles in Fennel's position is actually where it lies choice, and that is super interesting to me. Map draft can be used in so many different ways. You can just pick the maps that your opponents aren't that great in. You can go with the maps that your team has the most consistent win rate. You can pick the maps that you see the other team might have just not scrimmed that often. Favorite map, whatever you want. And I think every single team so far has shown us some different strategy.
There's only a limited amount of time in a month, right? And if you have to prepare for 18 maps, that seems to be Zeta Division's approach. They kind of just spread it out. And then there's Foot, who plays like Pit Stop 18 times in a row and doesn't lose a single time. So Humble is like, yeah, they're going to pick that first. There's nothing we can do about it. I wonder if that differs from region to region as well. Like, what is the meta strategy for how to make use of this new strategic resource that we have map draft now?
Yeah, I think as well that ultimate decision of do you want to kind of go with the open maps, you know, have that kind of long-range sharpshooter affair, or, you know, in what is a risky kind of map, so go with those kind of claustrophobic maps like Dueling Beetles and have those options surge, Edgar, and all those really troublesome brawlers to come to the forefront. That's the kind of decision-making that I'm witnessing in this region.
We already know which maps they want to play on now. I want to shine a light also again on the balance changes that we had just 2 days ago. You were talking about they already have to spread their time across the board, 18 different maps to prepare, and now a new meta in the last 2 days. It's not an entire meta shift, but these strongest brawlers like a Griff, like the Crow that we've seen so often also in this specific region are now changed. Max was the most picked brawler in East Asia, probably for the last 10 years or so, but also last month, and she had a huge nerf to her gadget and the supercharge rate. I wonder what these nerfs will change today already.
I don't know if it will deter
Ah,
head size love for the brawler. I don't think so. We are in the max region, and you did mention that Crow also got a nerf as well, so it's kind of even. You know, like the most valuable checkup against Max also took a big hit. Griff also taking a hit as there as well. We'll still, I think, see Max in
Hell,
play
sponsor me, please.
overall in this region.
Griff's an interesting one as well, the piggy bank nerf, but we were already seeing a rise in coin shower last month, and I was trying to spin in the cab on the way here, and there's an interesting kind of a strategy there where you can kind of swap the gadget at last moment to kind of throw off your opposition. They go then with a wall break kind of comp and a long range comp, and then you just kind of change the gadget last second. But I'm hearing a lot of good things around the meta at the moment, that now that those balance changes have come in, hasn't drastically changed a lot, but it's kind of definitely made things a bit more
N-am
balanced.
ce face
It
2
feels like one of the
1v3 sau
balances
2v3.
we had all year long, really. It's so
N-am
great
ce
to see,
face,
so
n-am
I'm
ce
sure we're
face.
going to see some new brawlers. Now, for the global bans, we already saw that Starnova and Bolt are still banned out very often. Great cosplay. I do want to
We are not worthy.
explain why my two co-casters are moaning over here. As I mentioned, Bolt and Starnova, they're still strong, it seems. They both have received a whole chain of nerfs, still showing up in the global ban stage twice today.
Something that I know about East Asia in general is that they don't really like to deal with uncertainty, and Bolt and Starnova are still the most, new brawlers on the patch. Maybe they just haven't figured out a way to beat it in scrims, so they decide, you know what, it's just not worth thinking about. Let's not try and reinvent the wheel. Let's just use this global ban against it. And meanwhile, on the side of Ignum, though, they just decided cosplay is more important.
I'm all here for it. I absolutely love that. I think we should make it honestly quite
Can we give him
obligatory
bonus
for teams
points?
to have to do that.
Bună,
Yeah, I know we should have
bună.
something as an
Bună,
incentive,
bună,
really.
bună.
And of course,
Fac live aici,
sure.
vreau
But,
să
I mean,
știu
the
feedback-ul
plan
vostru
here, I
de
really
ce
like
tier
personally.
listuri să fac
I
pe
think
canal.
it's quite an underrated
Să votați pe
plan.
pool-ul de
I mean,
este
it's very
setat pe
glorious
chat.
for that instantaneous ability to break open, but also be so effective against
A,
the
și mă enervez la rank.
So,
Asta mai
I'm
fac
really
în
kind of
paralel.
looking
Am
forward to that reason. We get another replay. I love that we get a replay of the cosplay intro.
How many different brawlers have we seen from this guy already? He was Barley in the first monthly final, Finks later on, Mortis as well, now Brock. That is incredible. I'm a huge fan. Let's hope it brings him luck for the match.
I love you, Shigemeon. I love him. I think it gives him so much luck. It would be so auraful if you think about it, if this man picks up Brock, 5 times this series and just absolutely bodies Fennel with it. And every time he rocket range, he stands up and actually, hypes it up. I mean, it's a pretty, he's hyping up the crowd. He's looking loud. He's like, okay, do I see any Ignum fans in the crowd? Do I see any? Okay, looks like you at home are not fans of Ignum. I'm shocked you and I are the 17%.
I mean, I can understand why. I mean, Ignum, in all fairness, they are still quite a young roster. You got to remember, this is only
Nice.
fourth
Nice.
monthly final. Now this is third, Drake's third. I mean, 2 of them were this year. So it's hard to kind of root for them in that regard, but they've been doing some really amazing scorelines in the kind of more recent months. And, going 2-3 to Crazy Raccoon, by the way, in June, that's a tremendous a feat. I mean, when you look back to March, when they lost in a sweep to that very same team. So they are making some moves. It is still young. I think Fennel, for many, will still be the favorite in that regard.
We do have to mention here that for both of these teams, it is their first time they get to play on the stage. In East Asia, we had a LAN event already for July. Now again, this month, and neither of those two teams have participated in July, so they now get to experience the stage as well as the crowd and the lights. It seemed Shigemeon was doing this, so he's not used to that much spotlight. Well, I would love to say maybe you get to have a bit more spotlight later on this year, but they are out of postseason contention, as I already mentioned. They can just play Spoil Sport now for Fennel.
They already did it once. They already eliminated Rival. My heart goes out to Ryohei, but now they might just do it to another brother of mine, IC. I want, honestly, Fennel to, at least for the plot, go further than this, but I have to stick by predictions wise. That was what I felt would happen, but in my heart I hope that Fennel can muster up at least some kind of showing here this month.
Yeah, I want to see more. Like, in whatever capacity that is for Fennel here today, I need to see more from you guys. It really feels like if things do not go well in this series and it's a sweep, and that's how they end out this year.
Merci.
Leave a little bit of a pit in my heart for a really accomplished organization and fantastic players. They're capable of so much more. That's my issue at the moment.
Well, we're split down the middle at the casting desk. Our predictions are literally 50-50. the viewers' votes almost 50-52, right? Almost. So let's hope for a 3-2 today.
I think this will be the closest quarterfinal yet.
I mean, we had a 3-0, so that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, compared to all of the others that we'll see later, spoiler alert, I mean, this was the only one we disagreed on predictions on, and for good reason. Now, I must say that Fennel has already technically beaten Ignum before, just earlier this month in the Challengers final. They did 3-0 them and then proceeded to lose to Reject in the most unceremonious way ever that I've ever seen. But that's not important. Now, Ignum, they understand what they're going into, and inside this monthly final, as you mentioned in qualifiers, I think they're just looking so much better.
You know, it's going to be putting them to the test. You know, it's one thing in qualifiers, being at home and being comfortable, but when you're on the stage, I think it's a different thing to be said for sure. I think that Fennel may have a little bit of an advantage in that regard with their experience. But, you know, again, you've got to praise Ignum for their confidence on stage, because already coming on, they're already gearing up the crowd, they're already getting everyone going. And I think that says a lot about a team like them. You know, being able to come in and be able to exude that kind of confidence is not a normal or natural thing for teams to do. So I give them a lot of credit for that.
And a lot of corp work went into that Brock rocket as well. I truly hope Shigemeon will be able to take at least the sets just as a bonus for his beautiful cosplay. We're heading into our match, and now I hope you're ready for Fennel versus Ignum Esports. Ignum versus Fennel. Will Fennel do the unthinkable, show us a Cinderella run today and make it all the way through to the grand finals, win that one and take the LCQ spot as well? A huge opportunity for them here. We see a job. It would be a shame to not have him at least at LCQ this year. Draft now and doing Beatles, as mentioned before. Ignum has a 0% win rate. They scrimmed it twice. I hope they play different brawlers this time around. Many of them are actually banned out. They love to play Lu here. 8-bit gonna come in. Actually, a brawler they didn't show us at all in scrim, so I guess third time's the charm, right?
Well, you did say that they scrimmed this map twice, so clearly there's no data to go off for what they actually play. But I was looking more at the bans, and my big concern is that the big bad Grey has not been addressed by either team. On the side of Ignum, by banning out both this Gale and the Lu, the two icy combo, that's kind of like the parody to the Grey that you can opt to trade for, but instead they left it wide open and have gone for 8-bit instead.
So just a big one. I mean, Damien as well, Edgar here, some real problematic brawlers that are left wide open. Max as well. You know, these are the ones that I'm looking for specifically here, and if Fennel pick any one of those three, I'll be happy, honestly. There's a lot left open. Does make me quite concerned here. Meeple as well is kind of one in the back pocket for later that could cause a bit of a problem, but 8-bit already is going to be a strong brawler on the other side of the field, but one that has a lot of weaknesses.
You need some range, you need some damage against this 8-bit, so very HP heavy, and as soon as he has that turret builds up, even more survivability and a lot of damage output. Ruff's coming in now. Ruffs and 8-bit together would be such a toxic comp to play against, so it makes a lot of sense that they pick it away with the Surge. I don't mind it. He did receive a slight nerf to his attack speed. Let's see how strong he still is in this current meta in competitive gameplay. What I'm missing here is range on the right side.
I think what Ignum is missing as well is more range. I think they could double down here. It could be the cosplay brawler making his appearance if they opt to go for Brock and tear apart the map. They're not going to go for that. Going to be a Draco coming in here instead. Is this going to be the Grey that they're paying this up with?
Yeah, could be all, I mean, another healer-based comp idea. Pogo's obviously banned out here, so it won't be that one, which is primarily the best one for it. I'm still not necessarily too sold on Draco here.
Eu am făcut un bol, că am luat și eu din greșeală gasul.
It makes me concerned that that's kind of maybe what they're thinking.
Why the long face?
Is going to be the berry. I mean, it's just the consideration there, especially if they double down with another wall break. I'm just kind of a bit worried for that berry. This map can stay on its feet. There are some good indestructible walls, but things to consider.
I was with Sprue there. I was sure they would come in with Grey there.
Oamenii
Also,
dau
they
duhul
banned out
pe
the
aici
Gale,
prin
usually the
Diamond
counter
Mickey.
to it. Well, Barry is going to be the last pick here. He definitely makes sure that his two tanky teammates have even more HP, even more capability to stay alive. So now on the right side, we need damage, we need range. Same thing as I said before. A Bell, a Pierce, it's going to be Barley instead. Definitely
L-am luat și eu din greșeală pe verde, dar mi se pare ideal jur.
Kinda to the Barry has a bit more range, but overall, the left side looks so tanky. I fear for Fennel in this one.
It's going to be Barley that has to really pull his weight here. Together with that Ruffs getting a couple hypercharges, maybe bring up that surge to level 5. And that's going to be their, you know, battering ram into trying to break through this comp. But that is so much HP arc to get through. This Barry plus the Draco is just so deadly, and with time going on, the 8-bit coming in as well on the lane is going to be so difficult for this Fennel roster to bring down.
Honestly, I'm amazed. Damien skating through. Maybe the balance changes are working in that regard. It's a pretty decent start so far for Fennel. Great control, great aggression on the left-hand side from IC. And now all three members locked in. That's exactly what you want to have as a starting hand.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head looking at what Drake had to do there, but, you know, opting to just throw away his entire life there just to get a little bit of control there. Now he has to play from behind the entire time. He's going to be pushed back there by the Ruffs, and with IC standing there, there's just no way for this Draco to make headway inside the mid.
Last call with a hypercharge of Kenji. Gonna litter the map now. It's time for a push, but honestly, it is dwindling down. Very hypercharge will fall on the way through though to Kenji. And these shots from now, has got to land, and he's just struggling to find the angle. I think that they're already trying to make up for some very much lost time that Fennel are not moving an inch.
And Kenji just continuing to dominate there. Now with the rough spots, he does so much damage. The triple buff is online for the side of Fennel. He's even going to be giving one there to IC. He's going to be popping that hypercharge. So much damage going in there onto Draco. Now chaining off there onto the 8-bit. Should be another easy pick for him. And he's chaining over there to Shigemitsu. He's looking for one more. He wants to get the full team wide. Just opting to come back. There we go. Pops it a second time. Not even necessary. Fennel had an amazing early game and carried it all the way through to a match win. I mean, a game win.
Shout out to Look there as well on stage. Good friend of mine. We have a lot of laughs at Lands and giving some good words of encouragement to his team for sure. I really liked how Fennel approached it. You know, that early control is what they're all about. And to be honest, I didn't really feel like Ignan were pushing much as a team. You know, it's just kind of like every man for himself and a bit scatty, a bit all over the place. I want to see them be a bit more united this time out.
Interesting choice there, Shigemitsu going aggressive bomb himself. He's going to be picked off there by IC. And so patient there, this surge. Opting to wait there instead of jumping there onto the 8-bit, holding down that control. And on the right lane, Drake can't even leave the base. The Sharpie's just tapping away now. 20% already in Fennel's pocket.
No, yeah, this just cannot enter the map. I mean, and the 8-bit was their first pick brawler, remember? And it's not really showing me its worth as a first pick worthy brawler. I love the way that IC is wasting no time at all in this match. I mean, he's over every single thing that they can throw at him. And again, Ignan pushing alone. Shigemitsu just gonna have to try to stay in his position here, stay healed, allow his team, but unless it's a full-on united push by Ignan, and look at this, I see it's just littering the map every which way you look at it, and there's not an open door at all for Ignan, who've got 3% to add to whatever they had in the previous match, which is barely anything at all.
Big push there down from Ignan though. Drake together with Shigemitsu now going in, but the last call rebuffs them, just spreads poison all over that mid, and there's just no way for Ignan to enter scorched earth here. We see
pierdem Diamond, ați nebunit?
It's gonna be a last minute
Pierdem Diamond cu boți.
Little too late. 3 hypercharges are enough to secure Fennel.
Bă, ce doamne fac?
Minor celebrations. You see the smile on IC's face.
Ferească-mă, Păntul, ce fac?
That, my friends, is why we scrim every map in terms of our map.
Bună,
play it
welcome.
twice and lose both times. Some learnings, for sure, that Ignan will take on board. But, I mean, that was a bloodbath. And the problem with that is that's not how you want to start things off. You want to come in and give yourself the best possible fighting chance. At least make it a close affair. That's going to be good for your mental going into the second set if you do happen to lose the first. That's really going to dampen their ego, and now we're going to see how Ignan are going to try to recover from that. That'll be a testament to what happens next, really. If they can shake that one off, and that's a big one to shake off, then we'll see a battle on our hands, but Fennel needed that. It's been a very disappointing summer split for them so far.
Oh man, and just looking at the cameras earlier, you can see the Ignomenergy when they were drafting, they were so excited about this comp. They definitely agreed with this as a team. And then they got flattened by IC, who has 8 kills and the second highest damage on the team. The last pick, Bali, that came in there really answered all the problems there. But I gotta feel, I mean, on the side of Ignom, it just feels like they've got too many holes in their draft. You know, there was no answer, no real answer to Surge really, other than, well, we'll just tank everything. And the 8-bit was a non-factor in the game. They picked up a brawler and then didn't support it in any kind of reasonable way.
Wow. For Fennel, their previous scorelines since April have been 1-3 exits in the quarterfinals. Will that be their only set and they'll match that same scoreline, or will we see a bit more back and forth going on here? For Fennel, they've been really fighting for a win. Today, it could be coming their way, but even if they win this quarterfinals, they do have to go the entire distance to win the monthly finals, and then hope that SKC losing their quarterfinals match to have a shot at changing this leaderboard. It's not impossible. There is a chance. It's just very improbable. That's the only thing that stands against them. But hey, I love the fight so far.
I love it as well. I want to see a Choppy go back to another LCQ. And he's going to start here in the second set, then triple dribble. The bans are in, and it looks like Fennel might have copied Zeta's homework a little bit here. Immediately banning out this Meepo Willow, plus the Shade on top. They don't want Ignom to get any funny ideas from that previous series.
I think for me here, the Shade ban is so pivotal. I think it's a very good map for Ruffs to come in here as well. Ems, I've always been looking out for Ems. I've been surprised at how heavily she seems to have dropped off in this meta. So pleased to see her coming forwards. Glad to see the Surge ban here as well. And going to be keeping my eye on Rico this weekend to see like whether that brawler now is being banned frequently, whether it's kind of found its place so far. It seems to be still up there in that regard still. But I'm still convinced of Max. I would like to see it picked up here personally.
Meciurile astea, ce mizeria asta de game mode.
Especially that ability to place a maximum amount of impact and pressure is going to go a long way. Sirius definitely here seems to be still a very strong idea in
ce votez?
So, I think we're seeing
Stai
more
așa,
Sirius in East Asia than
că îți arăt acum că am votat deja.
It's a big favorite of Zeta Division. I think that's the reason why the rest of the region has kind of just copied them. A trend that we tend to see in East Asia is that there is something that we nicknamed the Shide Tampo effect, that when he pilots a brawler and mains a brawler, then the rest of the region just follows. This is more of the Batman effect. I mean, he's the serious player for Zeta, and the rest of the regions seem to opt to go for this as that pseudo throw. And there's the Max, as you were calling out, Arc, despite the nerfs, despite the changes, the second gadget on Max is still so aggressive and so good in this current meta.
Stai să nu fac vreo
Mortis is
prostie, bun. Am votat Zeta Division, Fennel, Crazy Raccoon. Ăștia nu-mi vine acum cine îs. Zeta Division, Crazy Raccoon și m-am dus pe Crazy Raccoon.
still around, and that's the problem which scares me quite a lot. I mean, the Sirius as well, I think the reason why is it's a very big deterrent of Damien. I mean, it's still open here, it's a massive threat, but against the Sirius, you're fighting against yourself, and it's like the best way to get in early doors and really shut the idea down. Also, just to point out, Ignom Esports have got a 100% win rate on this map, but they did only play it twice. So, which is the same amount of time that they played Hotzone. I've got to question a little bit in terms of how prepared they're coming into today. I think that Fennel have definitely been putting in more of a grind, but then again, they did only play this map 5 times as well. So both sides really haven't been necessarily focusing on this particular map.
And Fennel have a 20% win rate out of those 5 games. They only won 1 of those matches. So, a bit interesting. I don't know who this favors, or maybe they're just kind of drafting out of preparation, right? Like, maybe they're hoping that by playing a map that they haven't really scrimmed, they are able to, hide a little bit of that information for, the other team here. Let's talk about this Primo pick, Arc. We have to react to this because looking at it, I can't tell what's the idea behind this. Are we in a different meta, different patch now? Is it a missed draft? We're seeing the draft go down now, so suppose some wonky business might have gone on down here.
I don't necessarily hate.
S-au oprit până și finalele când au văzut. Ce-au putut să vină.
Even if it was intentional, honestly, I mean, it's a map that you can run it down
Another shade.
Bă, și pinul ăsta l-am pus în thumbnail azi.
Everyone's just kind of responding to it. You're picking counters to it without actually picking it up yourself. No one really just wants to go there and deal with that. And looks like teams maybe having to enter a bit of a redraft here. Yeah, that might have been wonky business indeed.
Either way, though, I'm surprised to see that we haven't seen much of Damien so far yet. Be curious to see when the other regions approach as well, whether that's something which is like universal, whether it's global, or whether it's kind of one of those things that he's in a more balanced place. I definitely felt like he was worthy of dueling Beatles earlier, despite the the fear of the wall break stuff coming in. I think that Damien can just assert himself so quickly on that map, and especially in Brawl Ball. I mean, even if you go down in early doors, you're still going to come back, and as soon as you got that super, I mean, everyone else is pretty much toast. There are some counter plays, especially in East Asia as well. Like, they do like to bring in Charlie as a countermeasure. It can kind of force your opposition's hand to have to maybe deviate away from their drop and what they were looking to lock in and bring.
Ok.
In something which is just a dedicated Damien counter, but that's kind of what I would like to see. I think that if you've got Sirius on your side, though, realistically here, if Fennel don't pick it up, it's definitely a last pick brawler worthy thing for me to see on the side of Ignim. If there's not enough wall breaker potential on the other side of the field.
Yeah, at the moment, Fennel only have this Ems, and with Friendzoner, you do have a little bit of a stun that you can use up against the Damien there, but there's a lot of counterplay against it. So yeah, this makes a little bit more sense. Not the Primo that's coming in for the side of Fennel, but it's going to be this BB plus the Stu. Now, when you look at this, do you think the Damien can still go into this comp?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm totally all for it. I'm kind of surprised. BB can definitely assert a lot of aggression, especially when you've got Max on the other side of the field. You need something that's going to be able to just assert some pressure. They really charge down those side lanes, and the knockback, especially of BB, is quite brutal. If they combine speed zone with the Stu as well, that's going to really elevate BB somewhat and give her a bit more maneuverability.
First aid fury!
Buzz, don't hate it, don't love it.
I think it's alright here. I mean, it does force this Ems to pick up Friendzoner again here, just to deter the fact that this Buzz can do. And it has decent matchups there into the BB. Very, very skill testing. I don't mind it. I think it's a different approach from the Damien, as you mentioned. A little bit less relying on that timing. You just pop the torpedo from the get-go and just get pressure going, which is something that I think on the side of Ignim, they were really, really lacking. The early game was just so weak from them, and I think they didn't want to capitulate that just from the start.
It's interesting to see, isn't it, though, how much a Griff global ban can really deviate the draft. We're seeing a lot of these non-meta brawls. I see so much tankiness here. They need to come back to defend this. Nicely done there from Drake. Good stun as well, but actually doesn't get the takedown. The help for Chappie. Fennel made that look pretty straightforward. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's a walk-in surely for me. No butt stun yet. That's going to be it. I see we get an early goal. 23 seconds gone. And already Fennel wasting no time.
Very precise play there from the side of Fennel. Kenji breaking apart that 2x2 really saved it for them. And now in the ball control in the mid, Shigimion's shadows are completely dealt with.
Nu cred, mă, nu cred, să arată aici finalul, nu doar.
Drake is looking for that matchup there on the side. IC wants to get the stun in there, but he's being pinched out. He already is falling to half HP. But Chappie now doing so much work with the super, and surely this should be Fennel going in there. But big goal Friendzoner coming in there. Total team wipe, obliteration, and a very fast game for Fennel.
Fennel are looking unstoppable right now. They've really been doing their homework to come in to this monthly final and put us all to question as to why we were doubting them from the beginning, And I love that for them so far. They are keeping up the pace, and it feels like Ignim just really haven't come as prepared as we would have hoped. It's still turnaroundable. I'm going to make that a word. So far, Fennel already pushing forwards very strong. They need this max speed to be able to defend us on the side of Ignim.
Love the way that Fennel navigated the lane swap early, just opting to send IC down Drake, even though it was a pretty bad matchup there. It bought time for Kenji and Chappie to sort of assert themselves, and now we see Drake there popping off that with one stun there, opting to go for a second, but the Friendzoner does connect, and IC...
Mă enervează că se tot blochează aici la finale. Chiar se cam blochează. Ia, hai să luăm Megu. Să facem misiunea.
It's going to be going in there with the stuns there. Nice play there from IC to block down a Drake.
What? Ce skin am pe Mac? Ăla, da, că am făcut eventul, doamne, ce aerian ăsta.
But on the right lane, Shigamion has really won his lane. So no real consequential play coming out here from
Se blochează cam prea tare finalele.
Fennel so far.
I like this from Naya. This and the
Play coming out here from Fennel so far.
I like this from Naya. This and the left side, waiting for that max speed.
Mm.
And the respawn of Drake to come in to assert some authority. Nice there from Drake, but again, these trades are not going in. There from Drake, but again, these trades are not going in his favor. In a 2v1, that's going to be a straightforward walk in for Fennel. Not just a goal, but one goal closer to claiming the set.
So much is riding on Drake here. I mean, a single misplay from him is what's spelling defeat. You see a max hypercharge going out there. Should be able to chain off to a second. Nice. Give supers to his entire team. You see a hypercharge there from Shigamion as well. Stun there on Drake's going to connect onto one. Shigamion pops the hypercharge.
Ia asta e că am primit o întrebare, dar sunt meci.
A Chappy with a hypercharge of his own easily cleans this up and
Chappy din 2020.
30 seconds left to overtime. It may just be better.
Da, e 2020.
And I'm not sure whether it's just a fantastic defense there from a Chappy or mistakes and fumbling on the side of Ignim now. But if there's pressure, Drake's going to fall down as well here. Huge hypercharge there from IC as well. And there's no defense to be seen from Ignim. Another set as Fennel are in the process of a speed run.
2-0, completely dominating this series, not just with drafts, but with the gameplay. To be honest, the draft isn't even that much in their favor. This Buzz, a last pick, we did see the potential of it, but I think you're right completely. Ignim there, they kind of fumbled it for sure. I saw goals everywhere in that play. I have to watch it in slow motion to really catch the micro details of what happened there. But I have to think that to myself that it has to be something that Drake did wrong there that may have allowed for Chappy to get that crucial hypercharge. Without that, surely it had to be a goal.
I feel like he's the player which definitely struggled at that game the most. I think that the BB was a really strong idea. And you've got to remember, in terms of the draft, they were playing the Buzz into the BB. It wasn't the other way around. So that was a risk which they undertook, and you know, it just didn't really pay off. 9 kills for a Chappy, really doing a lot of work for his squad, but a full team effort. And despite things being pretty balanced across the board inside of Ignim, just not making the plays that you kind of expect. I think that comp absolutely has legs. I think the Buzz is my least favorite of the 3, but regardless, I think that they could have still made more with it. It wasn't kind of like just a complete and utter outdraft. Yeah. I think, you know, this is a new environment for them, for a squad that are still on the rise, and Fennel know what it means to whatever happens this month in terms of their prospects going forwards for LCQ. It's for them about just showing us that they have still got it as a final hurdle. I think that that is their primary focus, like regardless of what happens later in the bracket with SKC and how close they will fare in terms of those points. They've just got to make it through these quarterfinals to make a stand.
It could be a Chappy's legacy as well. He doesn't want to go down, you know, thinking to himself, my last potential monthly final is a top 8 finish. We don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to retire, but a lot of people have been, you know, questioning a Chappy, thinking about the fact that this former world champion hasn't made a world final for so long, always falls short at the last chance qualifier. And this year, with this roster starting so strong, coming in, getting 2nd place, and then, as you said, just downhill all the way from there, have Fennel finally found a way to utilize the former world champion.
And hey, he was casting at Brawl Cup. I mean, he can still be casting at LCQ as well. So it's still doors. I mean, he's a multi-talented guy, you know. But what an amazing career for him. He really has displayed so much excellence over the years, but it can't be denied. In the recent time, it has fallen short. And, you know, I kind of expected to see a bit more from him, specifically this season so far. Bans are in. I think it's going to be still open here, potentially here. Max, yeah, this is a brawler which I thoroughly expected to see way more in other regions, actually, after we witnessed how versatile she is on Heist. So I really quite like this first pick here, Fennel. Colt's going to be open here as well, and that is always a brawler which I love to see. And Anjo is still not out of the mix. It's not my favorite brawler. I still feel like it's one that can be very punishing against the Max. You know, I mean, you can't really think, even consider it for Ignum, but it is still viable on this map.
Yeah, with Lola out of the picture as well for Ignum, I'm scratching my head to think, like, what is the most natural way to deal with this Max? Do you just go for things yourself, or to just run down the mid and just force that control? We see this Rico coming out here now.
La limită.
And on a map like
Am ajuns înapoi în
I
mitic.
am a little puzzled, not gonna lie. This is something that I wish we had spent on the desk for to ask, like, what's the idea behind this Rico?
Fill it up with the balls and then explode it, and potentially, or even if you reset it, it will explode the other one, right? So you can, you're not dependent upon your opposition having to shoot it, because obviously they won't be doing that on the side of Ignum if that is the case. But it's definitely a bit of a head scratcher brawler. Not necessarily too solid. I think, like, brawlers like Kaze for me, really going to be up there in that regard, way more. I wouldn't even mind necessarily brawlers like Meg on this particular map, or Melody. I mean, Chuck not banned here. I don't think it's the hardest brawler to counter, but you've got to have time to counter it. So it's the final pick worthy brawler in the back pocket for Fennel.
Da, ok, stai să spun. Dacă zici tu, da, mi se tot blochează, nu înțeleg. Și se vede și puricat în 360p.
Lot of cycle ability, and you know, just have its way with the map and just roam free. But you know, I do feel like on some level you're right. It really is going to be dependent upon getting that initial starting point. And if I see,
uite, iară s-a blocat.
getting that initial starting point and
Da, se tot blochează, nu știu ce are.
Sandstorm going down here, and it's going to be a big push there from Ignum.
Nu știu ce are, se tot blochează. Și nu, chiar nu am fereste deschise, nu are ce să-mi consume. Na, pe mine mă dă în spate.
And Fennel, they're down to their last legs on their...
That might not be the play here. Some good aggression coming in, damage.
Da, site-ul merge oribil.
That might not be the play here. Some good aggression coming in, damage.
Mama voastră de e-sports, nu sunteți în stare să vă faceți un site.
That might not be the play here. Some good aggression coming in, damage. That might not be the play here. Some good aggression coming in, damage with the safe. that might not be the play here. Some good aggression coming in, damage with the safe.
Sunt prea bun, sunt prea bun. Mama ta de site.
Almost managed to get it down.
Făceți-vă site-ul! Reparați-vă buguri!
They can just do with a chappy here. Fanstorm might be a good deterrent of keeping him back. He'll be able to heal up in the meantime, but this is where Ignum have got to stay firm. They cannot afford to let Icy stay
Păi nu
through.
prea am
That
lucruri
is the
deschise,
player
chiar
that's
nu
now
prea
got
am.
jump as well, so I'm quite concerned. If they can get this safe crack on the side of Ignum, give them the best possible chance here. Kenji going to go on the aggressive before then teleporting back, and now the speed coming in. This is where things get dangerous for Ignum.
Sending things there, the right, the hypercharge tried to stop this one up against IC, but it's just gonna go straight for the save there. A Chappie that's got a super at the ready, just gonna pop this, and it should be an easy laser throw, and that's gonna be Fennel through to the semi-finals. They will take this match 3-0.
That's the final we wanted to see today. Great stuff from them through to the semis. Finally getting something to say in the summer split that has been a long time coming.
Ne-au făcut bani, ne-au
I
făcut.
think that a lot of it came down to draft as well for me, to be honest. A lot of the boards that they were picking in to an already complete draft on the other side of the field, just some questionable decisions. They had no defense there at all. You know, it was really troublesome to see how they were trying to make what they could. Okay, it was a final pick egg on that instance, but I think it wasn't just the nerves is what I'm trying to say, really. I think some of the draft really kind of displayed a lot of weaknesses, and Fennel exploited that. They came in prepared. Fennel, despite having a pretty worrisome win rate, actually, overall in terms of their scrims, really put us all wrong here. Well, put me at Spoo certainly wrong here on the desk, which is good to see. But, I mean, I'm liking the way they've approached this. My concern now, though, is regardless to how good they look, if SKC just win the quarterfinals match, it's all for nothing.
What motivation can do? Fennel has to win it all today to still lock in LCQ, and they certainly want to keep their dream alive. So far, looking like another team to beat today. Also, Ark, another 3-0. What is this? Not what I wanted to see.
It's definitely one of those days that I hope doesn't continue on this way.
Yeah.
I would like to see some more back and forth.
Ce era să fac ăla? Și am ratat MVP-ul Irial.
Definitely got potential later on.
Că am fost focusat la
meci.
meci. Că mie îmi dă ultimii boți.
So, like, I would like to see that there be just a bit more consideration, but again, in this environment, it's so difficult.
Și abia acum așa că am revenit și site-ul, dar bravo.
Everyone is going to be feeling as comfortable or as at home on that stage, and I think their Ignum, that will be added to a lot of those struggles.
Bro.
Kenji didn't even need to get damage to the safe. It was all about defensiveness and getting his squad forwards. Really great stuff from him.
Eu aveam ăsta în delay.
Seeing how he will fare
Share screen-ul.
in those semi-finals. Crazy Raccoon versus T5S up next is our third quarterfinals match. Then SKC and Frenzy. I've got my eye on that one specifically for sure, because SKC need to do that match to be able to, you know, put Fennel in a position where they are drawing blind.
Exactly. In order for Fennel to still qualify. Well, Fennel got step 1 done. Now SKC has to lose, so stay tuned for the quarterfinal number 4. You were supposed
Stați puțin chat. Gata, m-am dat jos și de pe Wi-Fi de pe celelalte două telefoane. Că mă și enervez cu... Mi se mai vede și cursorul, dar bravo.
is one monthly final win, the 3 Queso Cup titles.
Yeah, that's your injury for tomorrow, mate.
Maybe you'll get a medal one day, mate.
But yes, next up is going to be a banger of a match. I hope it will be. All said, Crazy Raccoon is going to take this one, which kind of indicates it could end in a 3-0 again. Not what I want to see. But up next, Crazy Raccoon versus T5S. and this isn't the first time we see either of these two teams. T5S already qualified for the July monthly finals. It was their first showing in East Asia. They had Zeta Division as their opponents, got beat 3-0. Will they have better luck today against Crazy Raccoon now?
I'm not too sure. I don't know. Crazy Raccoon are just aura. Like, when you think of aura, look at that beautiful man on your screen. Tensai screams it. But there is a chance that they can pull off the impossible. Of course they can. But they've got to go in with a game plan. They've got to come up with a strategy. Like I alluded to before, I feel like there are a few teams that have a little bit of a weakness in at least their map pool selection. And Crazy Raccoon is one of them.
I think for me, I'm always looking for that underdog story. I mean, those are the things that really make it for me, and a huge upset. I mean, I would love that, especially leading forwards into the World Finals. You know, Crazy Raccoon to take a loss here, absolute cinema would be for me. I think realistically, T5S though, and you've got to look at the stats and what is the reality of this. For me, have 2/3 of their roster complete unknowns. Senakama goes back a long way in time. They've been playing since 2022. Has had a monthly final in every single year since that period of time. 6 monthly finals played. Today will be his 7th. He's got a ton of experience, but I think that when you're looking back to July and the scoreline against Zeta, that double match point, which really could have been a massive talking point had they won that match. I think that may have just come down to draft. I think that it's still too early to say whether that was a one-off. I would lean more towards it being that one-off. I think that they've got still a lot to display, but certainly some promise. Is this a match that they can win? Possibly. Is it one that I think they will win? Probably not.
Crazy Raccoon sitting in the number 2 seed here in East Asia. The number 3 seed, Rival, who had locked in LCQ but then didn't qualify today, so they're out of contention now, was beaten by none other than T5S. This is one of the 2 teams that is the reason why we don't see Rival today. So I do think if they can upset Rival, and it was a pretty convincing 3-0 against Rival 2, they might also be able to claim that against Crazy Raccoon.
Close games though. 2 out of the 3 went to the 3rd set, but I mean, it does say a lot. They are growing. You can see that month by month.
Yeah, I think for this one, I think you've just got to take small baby steps. That's what we were alluding to in the first series. Like, I think if they can just get like 1 set on board, that could give them all the confidence in the world. But something's telling me, especially with like the bans incoming pretty soon, I don't know, I feel like Crazy Raccoon have done a little bit of homework.
Yeah, let's see who done their homework. We are heading into the map draft, and what we've seen earlier came true again, kinda. First map is going to be Pinball Dreams, picked up here by T5S. Guess what was the win rate of Crazy Raccoon on this map? It wasn't the best. Out in the open next, Safe Zone, Dry Season, and then the random decider is going to be Dueling Beetles.
Trebuie să se facă react la așa ceva.
Seen them all yet today, and Spen, you and I discussed this earlier. Pinball Dreams is actually a map that isn't picked very
Ok, lăsăm puțin ăștia cu finalele că mă cam enervează. Stai. Ia stați. Stați puțin, cea 2 secunde. Womp. Stați așa. 2 secunde, mai așteptați puțin. Așa, bun. Jocul puțin pe pauză. Stai să dau și rec. Bun. Nice. Primul român... Stai că nu mi-am pornit volumul. Primul român probanat din competitiv. Deci pentru cine nu știe, practic, Agaci și-a luat bani. Motivele deja se cam cunosc, dar vreau să știu ce punct de vedere are Măd în legătură cu toată situația asta și o să-mi ofer sincer și eu hot take-ul legat de chestia asta cu banuri. Că am avut niște discuții cu cineva în privat legat de banuri. Am mai văzut că și-a mai luat cineva bani, nu merită să-i dau numele, deci hai să vedem.
Istoria jocului Brawl Stars pe
Stai că nu se aude, nu se aude mai bine.
România, când avem și noi doi români calificați la Monthly Finals și unul dintre ei primește bani permanent și este eliminat complet din competiție.
Yeah.
Bine, am mai avut în trecut români calificați, am mai avut și pe Bogdan. Anul
Corect.
trecut era singurul român practic care a reușit performanța aceasta și mi se pare că în 2023, dacă nu mă înșel, am mai avut tot la fel 3 români calificați, dar
Corect.
nu să urce din upper bracket, adică să bate echipele cele mai bune și să se califice din prima mai departe fără să coboare în lower bracket. Dar o să luăm interviu astăzi cu el, o să-l întrebăm despre ce s-a întâmplat și
Stați că nu prea aud, Nu, aici.
ce să nu faceți și voi ca să nu primiți bani permanent, pentru că eu v-am explicat și v-am tot spus lucrul acesta, să nu faceți asta că vă
De
primiți
ce mi se vede așa acum? Trebuie să o iau de la capăt. Mama, tati. Vreau și eu să fac
Pentru prima
episod de react și îmi merge de toți banii. De ce mi se vede așa? Stați puțin, chat. De Doamne. Hai că de toți banii. Bă, vreau și eu să fac episod de react și îmi merge ca brânza brânzii.
pentru prima dată în istoria jocului Brawl Stars.
Taci odată, o leacă. Stai. Te rog, zic acum. Nu. De ce mi se vede așa? Come on.
Pentru prima dată în
Da, mâine... E ok, gata. Rezolvăm. Gata. Primul român pro... N-am dat drum la filmare. Primul român probanat permanent din competitiv. Bă, ăsta e un subiect care a luat amploare zilele astea. Practic deja se știe despre cine e vorba, cine și-a luat bani, practic și-a luat Agaci bani. O să vreau să văd sincer care-i punctul de vedere al lui Mădă în toată chestia asta. Am mai văzut că și-au mai luat persoane bani, știu că tot așa și-au mai luat cineva bani pentru boosturi. Chit că nu a reușit să facă performanță, dar nu are rost să-i mai zic numele, deci hai să vedem direct.
istoria jocului Brawl Stars pe România, când avem și noi doi români calificați la Monthly Finals și unul dintre
Acum
ei
sper că nu se
primește
aude prea
bani
tare.
permanent și este eliminat complet din competiție. Bine, am mai avut în trecut români calificați, am mai avut și pe Bogdan.
Cred că se aude prea tare acum, bag mâna în foc, sau? Bă, de mă enervează că nu... Bă, vere. Acum mă schimb eu pe... Așa. Mama, cum mi se vede și asta. Hai că facem altă schimbă, ia stai. Stai, că facem altă schimbă, ia stați. Stați, că măcar dacă facem episod bun, să facem episod bun de react. Ia stai. Nu, gata, facem episod bun direct. Stați că facem aici, ne facem talentul, stați așa. Mai e cineva pe chat? Ia stai, cum se aude?
Anul trecut era singurul român practic care a reușit performanța
A,
aceasta.
2,
Se
se
pare că
aude
în
puțin
2023,
cam tare,
dacă nu mă
da.
înșel, am mai avut la fel 3 români calificați.
Gata. Acum facem episod direct, stai. Da, asta fac acum, stai așa. Și mă jur, n-am văzut chat-ul înainte astrale, asta acum vreau să fac, stai. Bă, da, multe mizerii am aici deschise. Și, Doamne. Deci ăsta cu ăsta. Impun. Da. În fine, lăsăm așa aici. Închid și ăsta. Și mai închid și ăsta. Stai să-mi iau și șapca și dăm. Stai să merg și până la baie. Bun. Acum, în sfârșit, pot să-i dau drumul la filmare la React. Primul român pro-banat din competitiv. Bă, zilele astea au fost un subiect destul de interesant pentru România, practic că și-au luat agaci bani din compe. Ulterior și-au mai luat încă o persoană bani pentru că o da boosturi, dar nu pare rău și nu prea are importanță. Ideea e asta, că bă, lumea este banată pentru că dă boosturi. Și astăzi vreau să aflu și punctul de vedere al lui Mădă, vreau să văd și dacă o să apară eventual agacii la un interviu aici. Pur și simplu, vreau să-mi dau și hot take-ul meu legat de toată chestia asta, deci hai să vedem.
Pentru prima dată în istoria jocului Brawl Stars pe România, când avem și noi 2 români calificați la Monthly Finals și unul dintre ei primește bani permanent și este eliminat complet din competiție. Bine, am mai avut în trecut români calificați, am mai avut și Bogdan.
Corect.
Anul trecut era singurul român practic care a reușit performanța aceasta și mi se pare că în 2023, dacă nu mă înșel, am mai avut la fel 3 români calificați, dar nu să urce din upper bracket, adică să bat.
Bă, poate să se supere cineva sau nu, cu părere de rău, dar nu înțeleg cum a reușit Bogdan să se califice la Monthly Finals dacă o da boosturi în trecut. E simplu. Nu știu cum a reușit, dar în fine, poate e cu o anumită perioadă, că practic și el o da boosturi. Deci da, mergem înainte. Că și el a primit bani pe vechiul lui cont, a primit bani cumva pe chestia asta. Și el.
Echipele cele mai bune și să se califice din prima mai departe fără să coboare în lower bracket. Dar o să luăm interviu astăzi cu el, o să-l întrebăm despre ce s-a întâmplat și ce să nu faceți și voi ca să nu primiți bani permanent, pentru că eu v-am explicat și v-am tot spus lucrul acesta, să nu faceți asta că primiți bani permanent, că vi se fură conturile și așa mai departe, dar voi n-ați vrut să înțelegeți. Și am văzut că mulți v-ați pierdut conturile și trebuie neapărat să băgați la cap măcar de pe episodul acesta, mai ales că cel care a primit bani permanent, o să vedeți imediat jucătorul pro, căruia o să-i luăm interviu, a pierdut și bani legat de treaba asta, dar bine, ulterior o să-i câștige, o să vă explice imediat cum se întâmplă asta. Salutare și bine v-am găsit la un nou episod de Brawl Stars, înainte de toate astfel de episoade, nu uitați de butonul de like și de abonare.
Corect și aici la noi, nu uitați de un like și de un subscribe la mine.
Să-l cumpărați, asigurați-vă că...
Ok, aici cred că face reclama, îmi pare rău, dar nu sunt încântat.
Bineînțeles că o să jucăm împreună cu el chiar și la taurul acesta, văd că a venit încă unul. Dar știți care e partea cea mai tare? Ok, vreau să vă arăt asta, că am intrat pe contul celălalt treilea și că...
Aici îmi pare rău și pentru mă, dar iepuiește, face mult ieping și zic de mine, da, pe alții. Și na, poate urmează zilele următoare, o să fac un tier list. Eu acum când filmez reacția asta sunt și live, unde v-am întrebat, v-am pus un pull pe chat ce tier listuri vreți să vedeți pe canal, cu jucători români de Brawl Stars, cu youtuber români de Brawl Stars, cu diferite tematici de Brawl Stars, Brawl Talk-uri, update-uri, brawleri, environment-uri, diverse subiecte, poate chiar și e-sports. Deci, da, o să urmeze poate și tier listuri foarte controversate, mi-asum.
Nu mai știu.
Aici, nu, chiar nu-mi place că face mult clipping, vreau la subiectul principal al acestui clip.
Ca să spunem pe invitatul nostru, nu e cam incorect? Și acum, haideți să îl invităm,
Așa.
ca să spunem pe invitatul nostru, care a primit bani permanent, să ne explice despre ce s-a întâmplat și totuși noi o să-i susținem echipa duminică, vom face live special, pentru că vom mai juca un singur român, adică...
Reacția asta cel mai probabil poate o pun diseară, acum mai sâmbătă o mai editez puțin, toate alea o pun cred că pe seară, să-mi ziceți dacă vreți să mai fac și eu live mâine cu watch party la finale, vedem.
Ei va mai juca împreună cu doi străini, nu să-l susținem pe el fiind singurul care a mai rămas.
Se dă cat aici, da. Ce îmi place când am reclame.
A început maratonul reducerilor de vară. Ți-am pregătit o selecție de
În echipă. Și așa cum am spus, suntem alături pe voce cu Mocănel, așa-i spun eu Mocănel, pentru că știți din ce că... vă spun după aceea de...
Mocănel, ascultă numai Dani Mocan, am uitat să mai explic asta pe episod, bă.
Cu Mocănel și de ce era porecla asta mea pentru el, deci cu Agaki suntem aici, te salut Agaki, ce zici, broadere?
Salut, mă, da. Bine, și eu pe aici.
Pe aici, cum te simți?
Trebuia să-i pună webcam.
Deci bani permanent pe contul de Brawl Stars, dar bani din competitiv o lună de zile a primit. Cum te simți?
O lună?
Sunt fericit că am dat call, dar sunt dezamăgit că am luat bani. Bine, mă așteptam oricum să iau bani, pentru că știam că dacă boostez și așa o să primesc bani, că o să mă interzică. Și nu mă așteptam oricum să trec fair check-ul și mă așteptam să fiu banat, dar sunt dezamăgit tare că știam că puteam să batem 100% totemul mâine.
Și acum, ca să le și explicăm băieților, voi aveți 800 de euro banii de fiecare.
Da, asigurați, practic.
Deci 4000 de lei,
800
40 de milioane.
830
Bun.
acolo.
Bun.
Că e 2500 total, 830, cam așa.
Și dacă voi, duminică, că exact cum le-am spus, o să facem live și o să susținem pe ei, care a rămas singurul român cu doi străini, dacă băteați totemul, primeați 2000 de euro de fiecare.
Da, practic 6000 în total.
Voi vă dați seama, băieți, câți bani, doar pentru
Wow.
că a făcut o greșeală. Și o să vă explic imediat ce greșeală a făcut și ceea ce să nu faceți și voi. Dar doar pentru că a făcut chestia asta și s-a calificat, cei de la Supercell au venit și au verificat contul din spate și l-au găsit că, spune tu.
Am boostat un băiat, că practic numai un cont mi l-au găsit că l-am boostat.
Da, un cont de acum câte luni? 2 luni.
2 luni.
Voi vă dați seama că
Wow.
Spune.
Din 15 iunie până pe 16, adică o zi am stat pe că n-am stat mai mult. Că mi-a zis și data respectivă, din 15 până pe 16. Atât.
Deci vă dați seama că cei de la Supercell au toate detaliile și văd, bă, ăsta a dat share account, ăsta a boostat pe data respectivă, e un alt cont surpriză pe IP-ul respectiv. Da, uite, știi, că asta mai discutam și cu tine. Guesty în trecut făcea același lucru. Și la un moment dat Guesty, nu știu dacă ați văzut, are foarte multe conturi Guesty de pe care joacă, foarte multe.
Valabil și la Guesty, nu înțeleg cum a reușit și Guesty să intre în compe dacă o dați și el boost-uri, dar în fine, e ok, mergem înainte.
Și a cumpărat și tablete separate băiatul meu, ca efectiv să nu aibă probleme de
Mamă.
genul să fie eliminat din competitiv. Guesty nu făcea.
Vezi că asta e interesant.
El știu că
Ce zice?
posturi, cred că mai mult ca sigur s-a lăsat. Știu că era live zilele astea, m-am uitat la altele sau când era, pornise live la 2 dimineața.
Deci în trecut la fel a făcut chestia asta.
Da. Dar
Păi și la el care a fost faza? A trecut perioada sau și-a făcut alt cont și altă tabletă și a...
banul și el în continuu, nu știu că și Guesty are conturi banate la greu.
A, da, și el a primit la fel?
Da, pe și el are banul la greu. Pe contul este cel are tot de la 0 a făcut. Și el are contul banate la greu.
Deci asta vă zic și vouă, băieți și fete, dacă sunt și fete pe aici. Deci tu ce le spui? Ce le transmiți? Să nu primească boost.
Dacă joacă competitiv și dacă vrei să n-ai treabă cu Supercell-ul, cu suportul, cu nimeni, cel mai bine joacă-te tu pe contul tău.
Deci nu da contul la nimeni ca să ți-l boosteze, nu da contul la nimeni. Nu știu, că apare cu share account și apar IP-uri diferite și e posibil ca să primești bani. Dar acum întrebarea următoare, dacă te-a primit bani permanent, ăla de la-ai boostat a primit și el bani?
31 de zile.
Ok, da, ceva normal.
Încă vreo 2-3 băieți, ce mă înșel că mi-au mai
Ce?
încă un băiat.
De fapt, stai puțin, că tu ai primit
Stai.
ăla de la-ai boostat a primit și el bani?
31 de zile.
Deci el 31 și tu o
Și au
lună.
mai primit încă vreo 2-3 băieți, ce mă înșel că mi-au mai încă un băiat.
De fapt, stai puțin, că tu ai primit o lună din competitiv, dar practic s-a terminat cum ar veni, că a fost ultima etapă și anul acesta nu mai sunt alte etape și trebuie să o iei de la anul de la capăt.
Da, de la anul, practic, dacă mă opresc acum din boostat, ceea ce am și făcut, m-am oprit, am pus stop. Și o să mă pot juca liniștit, o să trec fericit. Că am întrebat și adminul respectiv. Și ca să fiu mai safe mi-am făcut alt cont de la 0 din nou, practic.
Da.
Nu mai am nicio problemă.
Da, a făcut un cont nou de la 0. Și dacă te joci pe aceeași tabletă, nu ia după IP-ul tabletei?
Nu, că am întrebat și chestia asta.
Ok.
Dacă tot te vei opri până la, nu o să ai vreo problemă, pentru că se resetează toate. Dar trebuie să te oprești obligatoriu, că noi dacă din nou te găsim, noi bine.
Ok, și acum întrebarea friză pentru tine, că probabil nu te aștepți la asta. Bă, știu că tu ai avut foarte multe conturi în trecut și ai avut conturi bune. Câte ai banate, mă, până acum? Câte ți-au banat?
8.
8 conturi! 8 conturi! Bă! Wow! Deci numai la el și la Complex, pentru cine nu mai știe pe Complex, un jucător destul de bun, un jucător vechi, practic, Doamne, ce m-am bălbuit. Deci, practic, el și Complex. Doamne, ții minte și la Complex câte conturi au banat și Complex. Wow. Și Agaci, bă, mi se pare real. 8 conturi banate. Știam că are multe conturi banate Agaci, dar 8.
Cum mă, te nu poți să te abții, mai ales când ești la nivelul ăsta și te-ai calificat? De ce nu te poți abține?
Se fac bani mulți din bun.
Ok, da.
Asta da.
Dar vezi că și
Corect.
contul ca să poată să fie banat. Adică și pe cel care îl boostezi, da, și tu riști, practic, să faci chestia asta.
Până la urmă eu risc bană permanent, că practic cel care primește boost-ul ia maxim 31 de zile.
Da, dar dacă se întâmplă de mai multe ori nu primește bani permanent.
Încă nu știu, că am luat atâtea banuri, dar n-am cunoscut vreo persoană să fi luat bani permanent. Au luat 31 de zile toți, în mare parte.
Da.
N-am luat nici eu, nu mai
Da,
am.
dar tu la câte conturi ai avut? 8 conturi, mă, frățiorul meu, alea, cred că vin o grămadă în bani. Cât? Cred că peste 4-5 de euro.
Și am băgat în fiecare bani. Pe el ăsta ce am luat bani acum am băgat iar. Am băgat din prima când l-am creat, am băgat 10 milioane și acum am mai luat oferte, gen. Și acum iar pe ăsta m-am pus iar, am băgat, când l-am creat în prima zi am băgat 2 și o să mai bag cu siguranță, că îmi trebuie brawler.
Da.
Că trebuie să...
Păi asta e toată problema. Că îți trebuie brawler ca să poți juca, că tu ai totul level maxim și cu buff-uri, nu la friendly battle.
Da, practic, dar dacă n-am brawlerii nu pot să aleg.
Păi corect, trebuie să ai brawlerii, că restul ei full maxați.
Practic îmi stric echipa pentru că nu putem face draft.
Da, așa este. Da, și corect.
Sunt obligat să fac rost de brawler. Cum fac rost, băgăm bani, că altceva n-am ce.
Da, așa este. Acum vreau totuși să reacționăm împreună, că știi că sâmbătă, adică când va veni episodul acesta, o să joace pe Asia, da? Avem montrul pe Asia.
Corect, cum sunt și eu live acum. Bine, voi când vedeți episodul, cred că am terminat live-ul. Mă uit la Asia, m-am uitat la Asia și mi se pare... Na, mi-e de rău. E ok, nu zic nu, fiind ultimele finale, e ok.
Are Mocanel Agaki despre echipa lui, TLB-ul, nu?
Da.
Da, știi care e faza? TLB-ul de la ce vine? Talent Lab?
Da, Talent Lab, practic.
Eu făceam Caterinca cu trag la babe, da?
Sunt talentați, practic, cam așa ar veni.
E o organizație străină? Din ce țară este?
Din Spania.
Din Spania, ok, bun.
E o organizație, practic, spaniolă.
Ok, hai să punem acum finalele pe ecran să vadă și băieții. Și gata, aici sunt opțiunile mele pe care le-am votat. Mocanel nu le știe, nu îi le spun. Spune-mi tu mie, frățior meu, dacă... Ce ai votat tu? Da? Ce îi spune tu pe Asia?
Ok.
Da.
Așa am votat și eu, adică dacă vă duce puțin capul, cam astea sunt toate voturile în general.
ZM-ul ăștia.
Aș vota Zeta, până la urmă.
Zeta,
nu?
Ok, după aceea, IGM cu Fenel.
Cine-i Fenel cu IGM?
Bă, Fenelul am văzut că e Achapi, dacă nu mă înșel.
Chapi?
Please let me join your fleet, Captain.
Hold up, you can't even beat level 2.
Wait, I just picked up a solar panel. Boom! I cleared level 76.
Pure luck. When the next alien wave hits, you'll still die in space.
Equip the mech. Boom! Level 999. I'm gonna turn this wreck...
Ia fi atent aici, stai așa că și spun ce echipă are Fenelul. Dar poți să dai și tu acolo, deci trebuie pe Asia. Așa, și Fenel, uite aici. Deci e Kenji, Achapi și IC. Și Achapi, gândește-te că e campionul mondial din 2021-2022.
Da, nu mai contează atât de mult acum, pentru că atunci dacă câștigai ele, câștigai și meci.
Da, și ce zici tu, ce alegi aici?
Hai să merge pe Achapi, te pun de ceva.
Pe Fenel, ok, poate nu trolează, cine știe. După aia Crazy acum cu T5S.
Bate Crazy acum.
Crazy acum, clar, da?
Și bate Calalas.
Și Calalas bate, nu? Cu Naipișu.
Bun tare Naipișu ăla pe tanci.
Da, e tare,
Ok, clar.
Și după aia Fenel cu Zeta bate Zeta, nu?
Bate seta clar.
După aia?
Acum cu Scacalala se merge greu. Nu știu, o să zic oricum că ei sunt 3-2. Da? Hai să mergem pe Crazy.
Da, mereu mi se pare strâns între Zeta și Crazy Raccoon, sincer. Chiar mi se pare strâns mereu.
Aș merge pe Crazy Raccoon eu.
Ai merge, până acum 1-0 are Zeta cu Crazy Raccoon că s-au întâlnit, dar... Da, și Crazy Raccoon doar că trolează mult de Tom, ăștia nu sunt serioși.
Dacă se concentrează, pentru că Zeta sunt foarte toxici, practic am văzut eu că, să zic, se cred mult mai superior față de toate echipele și cauza asta pierd.
Da.
Pentru că îi subestimează foarte mult.
Exact, tot timpul nu sunt serioși pe Asia, adică trolează și ia brawleri ciudați, adică gândește-te că față de ceea ce se alege pe Europa și care e draftul, față de Asia sau America nici nu se compară.
Vezi că anul ăsta au început cât de cât să fie comune drafturile, pentru că drafterii de la noi din Europa s-au dus la ei.
Ah, ok.
Cunosc și eu câțiva drafteri practic din Europa care sunt drafteri pe la ei.
Dar se compară, dau exemplu, Europa cu echipele din America, ca jucători? Eu zic că nu.
Nu, niciodată.
Adică gândiți-vă că dacă voi cu TNB erați pe America, eu cred că câștigați fiecare monthly final, să ne bănesc.
Ne calificam, nu știu dacă ne câștigam, ne calificam să dăm la toate, fără
da. Ceea ce erau banii, vă dați seama, 800 sau... Da.
Ei, ce 800 că luai, dar mai băteam tot.
Exact, 800, 2000.
Cred că doam 2000 fiecare.
Da, după aia următorul cât e, 4000?
Nu, 2800 parcă următorul. Știu că e 2500 total, 6000, parcă 8000, dacă nu mă înșel și după 12000.
Păi și aia, fiu, cum este cu Westy, cât ia de fiecare? 4.000, mamă, 200 de milioane în fiecare lună.
4.000 de euro. Bă, știu că sunt foarte ciudat acum că o zic gen pe episod, bă, dar ar fi interesant tot așa să iau și eu un interviu. Poate luăm un interviu de la cineva banat sau... Vedem.
Cu 2, practic, dacă iau 8000, iau undeva...
Sau de la cineva care a jucat în e-sport. De a fost la Monthly Finals.
700 aproape, nu? Că e 8000 practic ar veni.
Da.
În 2700 aproape, 2670.
Păi și voi plătiți și drafterul sau antrenorul dacă aveți sau plătești organizația?
Dacă ai, trebuie să plătești. Și dacă, depinde ce ai vorbit și cu organizația, dacă au un procent și ei și la drafter trebuie să-i plătești și la drafter. Și la analist trebuie să plătești.
Ok, și acum o întrebare pentru tine. Voi cei care sunteți jucători pro la echipele astea, aveți și salariu, presupun, nu?
Da.
Bă, mă omoară reclamele.
Deci, uite cum ar fi Westy cu Angel Boy, probabil au un salariu mult mai mare. Ca și sponsor.
Sunt IRS sau sponsor mulți.
Sponsor mulți, deci cu cât ai mai mulți sponsori, cu atât salarii mai mare.
Da, dar practic cât demonstrezi mai mult și ești capabil să faci automat să crești salariul.
Da, dar uite, eu mai vorbisem cu tine în trecut de faptul că compară echipele de Brawl Stars cu echipele de CSGO. Premiile sunt, adică salariile și premiile sunt foarte mici, frate, față de CSGO, față de Mobile Legends.
E nimic.
Adică gândește-te că pe anul trecut au făcut Supercell 2 miliarde de dolari când 1 miliard de dolari a fost profitul lor. Păi și o competiție cât are? 1 milion de dolari, sau 2 milioane, cât e? 1 milion, nu?
Da, cred că da.
1 milion ori 2, ceva de genul, habar n-am, nu mai știu sigur. Cred că o să facă 2 milioane, că 1 milion este ce oferă ei și probabil 1 milion o să strângă de la comunitate.
E puțin tare.
Puțin, frate, ok, înțelegem că... Deci suma asta de bani se parte la toate echipele ca idee, deci locul cred că o să crească 250.000 de dolari, nu?
Acolo.
Deci imaginați-vă, sunt bani, nu zic nu, dar față de celelalte jocuri, bro, ești campion mondial, totuși ar trebui să primești bani, o grămadă, măcar 500.000 sau 1 milion de fiecare, aș spune, campion mondial. Logic, nu?
Da, aici chiar nu prea comentez cât de cât.
Jucător normal de Brawl Stars nu știu cât câștigă, că nu spune niciunul nimic, pentru că fiecare are contractul lui și dacă eu întreb oricum pot să-i întreb pe Westy și pe ăștia, dar nu mă răspunde niciunul. Practic îmi zice că e confidențial.
Cu presupusul cât ai spune că au 5.000?
Nu știu dacă nu cred că au 5.000. Nu
zici
cred că are
tu?
nimeni 5.000. Nu.
Bă, lasă-mă frate cum e Westy, eu zic că are, mă, mâncați.
Sărăcie mare pe Brawl Stars față de ele canturi de...
Și eu știu ce mai consider faptul că ei cred că au un procent și de la ălea de în joc. Spray-uri, emote și
Bundle-ul, da.
De-aia promovează practic.
Aia zic, că altfel nu văd de ce ar promova.
Au 100% un procent.
Da, dar asta cum poți să bage pe joc? Trebuie să neapărat să te califici de cât mai multe ori.
Da, și să-i sponsor foarte mult, trebuie să plătești și tu practic, nu știu din ce am zis, parcă o diferență. Practic să-ți bage, să ai un pin de la.
Ok. Și acum întrebarea pentru tine e următoarea. noi suntem pe Europa aici, o să-ți dau și spectate ca să vezi că eu n-am votat nimic încă, ok, gata, ți-am dat ca să vezi. Deci, avem fiu cu Kuma la Savesta primul meci. Ce părere ai? Cine crezi că va câștiga? Bă, Kuma la Savesta v-a bătut la ăsta, la Brawl Ball League, nu? V-a bătut echipa.
3-1, eu n-am jucat.
Da, n-a jucat, bă, adevărat, mă. Deci, acum la Brawl Ball League a jucat Tomzi și acum cine va juca la finala asta?
Se joace Sunfire cu Mewtwo.
Cu Mewtwo, ăla de neam doi germani. Și ce părere ai? Crezi că va face față?
Vrei să zic sincer?
Sincer. Nu va face,
Nici șansa n-am.
Da.
Nu se coordonează.
Chiar dacă va juca în locul tău, el îți va da banii, nu?
Da, pentru că i-a pus practic organizația să semneze un contract, n-ai cum să faci cu bani.
Că practic tu ai calificat echipa, nu el, știi?
Eu am fost și m-am străduit să mă bat versus Taiaresur și să vine el să-mi dea jumătate de romeci versus tem să-mi fără bani.
Da, așa este.
Bă, aici vezi că nu mi-a trecut chestia asta în cap. Adică, bă, tu practic tragi echipa, încerci să o bagi să se califice la Monthly Finals și după ți-i bani. Da, e ceva normal, ok. Bine, e păcat acum stau și mă întreb puțin. Cine îți semnează contract să joci pentru cineva ca și replacement, ca și înlocuitor, și tu să nu câștigi nimic de pe chestia aia, că joci în locul ăla? Trebuie să-și ia, ok, înțeleg, dar un mic procent, câtuși de mic, 1%, 5%, cât poate să fie, tot ar trebui să ia ăla care joacă.
Înainte de toate, adevărat, că putem să intrăm și la eSports aici ca să vedeți ce echipe au bătut ei. Deci noi trebuie să intrăm aici la bracket, trebuie să apăsăm pe
Wow.
și după aceea dăm ziua 2, poate era, nu? Ziua 2. Exact, uite, aici, după cum puteți observa, am avut Talents Lab, au bătut Slice eSports, unde a fost echipa lui ăsta, lui Elox, frate, 3-0, voi vă dați seama. Elox n-are, spune tu, are vreo treabă în competitiv Elox?
Slab, rău, nu, mi se par slab, rău.
Au pierdut la ce, la draft sau la cum joacă?
La tot.
A, dar chiar mă, noi putem să apăsăm și pe ăsta ca să vedem. Deci a avut în echipă Elox, Nerox și GRXPZ. Păi da, dar nu știu dacă poți stai așa. Deci aceasta a fost echipa cu care a concurat, să spunem așa. Acum noi trebuie să luăm din nou, deci de fiecare dată când intrăm pe echipe, trebuie să luăm aici, EMEA, gata, să ne din nou aici. Deci după aia a bătut 3-2 Novo eSports și după aia Team Heretics s-au dus practic în upper bracket, ce vă spuneam eu la început de episod, și s-au calificat mai departe, ceea ce, bă, e un lucru excepțional pentru eSports-ul românesc, ca să zic așa.
Sincer.
Competiția din România, chiar un lucru excepțional. Acum, vezi ăsta de aici, nu? Finale pe Europa. Spune-mi Fiutiu versus Kuma la Savesta, să nu mai prelungim. Cine votezi?
Fiutiu, no debate. Vă zic și la mine acum ce aș vota eu pentru Europa.
Spune-mi tu mie, ce au ăștia, mă, frate? Sunt magicieni, au internet bun, au ping bun, contează ping-ul că se joacă cu 10 ping acolo. Contează, nu?
Da, exaltează mult.
Deci tu explică-le la băieți. Ei au bootcamp-uri, da? Și se duc în bootcamp-uri unde sunt apropiați de serverele de Brawl Stars, mai ales în Germania.
Unde? Bootcamp-urile sunt în Germania, sunt german unde eram, Franța, parcă la nu mai știu, și mai era unul.
Și în asta unde au serverul în Helsinki, Finlanda, nu sunt?
Posibil să fie și acolo. Știu că în mare parte toți sunt prin Germania.
Deci toți când vor să facă performanță se duc în bootcamp-uri organizate de către organizație, să spunem așa, în Germania.
Da, știu 100% că reprezentăm parcă la Germania.
Deci asta doar pentru a avea avantaj la ping, băieți. Deci imaginați-vă așa, da? El, Mocănel, să spunem că pe România cred că e undeva pe site la 30 ping, nu 32, 37.
Da.
30, 35, pe acolo.
Ei, ăștia care se joacă, dau exemplu, nu au văzut că nu are ping-ul la fel ca Guesty și Angel Boy. Au ping de 10. 10 e ca și cum ar fi 0, că nu poate să-ți apară 0, că ți apare 10 pe site. Ei bine, diferența e practic de 3 ori mai mare la Mocănel, delay-ul și latența lui e de 3 ori mai mare decât ar fi a lui Angel Boy sau a lui Guesty. Și pe unii băieți, cum ar fi Piper, Mortis și mulți alții, sau chiar și pe Movement, ca să te poți feri de hituri, contează foarte mult latența aceasta, internetul ăla.
Și device-ul, foarte mult device-ul. Nimeni, nu o să vedeți pe nimeni în eSports care se joacă de pe telefon.
Avantaj versus ceilalți. Dar și să te duci acolo costă bani.
La nimeni nu vedeți în eSports jucând de pe telefon.
Câștig să se ducă acolo special pentru așa ceva.
Ca asta cumva răspund așa și la o mini-întrebare pe episod. Bă, de ce nu mă bag în competitiv? De ce nu încerc să mă bag? Bă, vere, eu, vă zic sincer, nu am ce căuta din multe puncte de vedere. În primul rând, nu vreau momentan să-mi dau banii pe un iPad unde știind că iPad-ul ăla îl folosesc doar pentru Brawl Stars. Nu vreau, chiar nu vreau. De asta am preferat să-mi iau momentan să-mi dau un upgrade la telefon, fiindcă telefonul măcar îl mai folosesc în viața de zi cu zi, dar la iPad momentan nu vreau, nu. Nu vreau încă să fac achiziția asta. Și e vorba și despre oameni, legit. Acum dacă ar fi să mă apuc mâine să caut, nu știu pe cine aș lua sau cu cine aș ateriza în echipă. Vă zic sincer. Și eu cumva am și mania asta că, bă, vreau să fiu eu capitanul sau team lead-ul. Am puțin mania asta și nu prea mă încântă chestia asta să fiu neapărat membru. Și în plus vreau să mă înțeleg și cu cineva extrem de nice, deci n-am. Eu nu am ce căuta pentru cine tot comentează că, vai că nu mă joc e-sports, că-s doar Leather Warrior.
Iar asigura organizația. De-aia banii pot să zic că fac diferența în situația aceasta și poți să faci performanță. Atât de rău.
Și mai e și chestia asta care trebuie să te pună puțin pe gânduri, că bă, dacă ai făcut boosturi sau rahaturi mizerii din astea, dacă te bagi printr-o minune, să zicem, că te califici la Monthly Finals, păi îți iau ăștia contul la puricat. Și tu te-ai jucat ok, îți iei banii cât ai muncit ca să ajungi până la Monthly Finals, dar după ți-ai luat bani la cont și ești banat din competitiv și o lună.
O să ajungi. Deci din România tu nu poți face performanță situația aceasta și poți să faci performanță. Atât de rău s-a ajuns. Deci din România tu nu poți face performanță atât de mare din prisma faptului că nu avem serverele aici apropiate cele de Brawl Stars. În fine.
Da, oricum, la anul e posibil să avem și noi bootcamp în Germania.
Da, mai ales dacă faceți performanța asta. Bă, dar nu ți-e frică că se va schimba meta?
Ba da, dar nu mi-e frică
Că se vor adăuga buff-uri, că o să se schimbe brawler, o să vină alți brawler, trebuie să te obișnuiești cu ei. Că am văzut că tu te-ai jucat foarte mult cu Mina, te-ai mai jucat și cu Pierce foarte mult și știi foarte bine brawlerul ăsta.
La ce meta vine, practic. Ce meta vine, mă pun și mă joc brawler respectiv în rank cât mai mult schimbă, cât mai bine.
Mă omoară reclamele, jur. Câte caturi trebuie să dau la episodul ăsta.
Te poți obișnui, nu? Ca să-i poți juca cât mai mulți.
Da, păi practic eu n-am mai jucat Meg de pe vremea lui mamaie și m-am pus să mă joc cu Meg la rank, mă joc Meg în continuu. Sau Obit, cine s-a mai jucat Obit? Practic
ei am văzut că se joacă Obit.
sunt obligat, practic, să mă joc pe respectiv. Că îmi place, că nu-mi place, trebuie să-i joc.
Adevărul e că e pasiv în meci, e pasiv, nu știe să se ducă agresiv, dar tu te duci agresiv și mai ales acum că l-ați luat acum Sunfire, că cu Tomzi nu vă înțelegeți atât de bine.
Nu înțelegem așa bine pentru că Tomzi e player pasiv.
Da, și erau doi pasivi cu unul agresiv.
E meta destul de agresivă.
Da.
Și nu poți să te joci la pasivitate. Pentru că noi nu suntem foot să stăm atât de bine pe mapă și să ne coordonăm chiar de bine. Să jucăm only raps. Deci foot e-sport joacă only raps pe toate mapele.
Da, joacă noob în
continuu. Ne pușează, ne panicăm.
Sau Kenji, să jucați Kenji, la fel, nu știi când să te bagi.
Se descurcă din ce am să-mi fac Kenji, pentru că
da.
Că mă joc și eu un mid mai solid de un play, un pins că poți dau destul de ușor un pinch pe lane, practic îi creezi loc pe mapă, să nu-și ia și el pinch de la doi adversari și trag și eu după amândoi deodată, practic îi creezi lui spațiu să poată să urci.
Am văzut că s-a fairat Kenji, da. Deci aici tu zici Fiutiu Sports cu cum ăla să vezi dacă câștigă Fiutiu, da?
Da, 100%.
Talent bă, echipa ta la care ai fost descalificat pentru o lună de zile, dar din păcate mai sunt finale, că gândiți-vă dacă mai era încă o lună de zile urma,
nu prindeam, nu puteam să joc.
Cealaltă cum ar veni, a doua.
Da, nu puteam să joc.
Da. Și când începe ianuarie sau când începe ăsta? Nu, mi se pare mai tare.
februarie, mai durează, Mădăline, păi acum, bă, v-am zis. Astea acum sunt ultimele monthly finals, pentru că în septembrie urmează Challengers în Turcia, după urmează LCQ-ul, după War Finals. Și după, gata, anul, salut, pa, ne vedem la anul. Mamă, dar și cu evenimentele. Să-mi ziceți sincer în comentarii dacă vreți să fac episod și despre evenimentele IRL cu cosmeticele exclusive, că e doar ceva rău, e prea multă bătaie de cap, jur.
Bă, dar tu dai seama că asta și vorbeam, băieți. Îi spuneam, bă, dar dacă nu te calificai, nu te mai verificau ăștia pe cont, nu?
Nu.
Dacă nu se califica, dar bine pierdea
Exact ce ziceam.
banii cum ar veni jucătorilor, adică colegilor săi și până sunt bani.
Nu puteam să-mi salvez echipa și până la... Și dacă luăm logic, nici nu mă lăsam de boss până la anul și decât să iau bani la anul.
Da, așa este.
în timpul montiurilor, poate să nu mai pot și eu nici următoarea lună, poate să...
Deci gândiți-vă că Mocanel s-a sacrificat cu banul permanent și să fie eliminat din competitiv timp de o lună, calificându-și echipa și verificându-l pe cont, pentru că altfel probabil era greu ca să verifice sau ceva de genul și nu-și lua bani, dar probabil la anul următor și era mai rău, așa măcar se pregătește pentru anul următor. Deci talentele versus repli totem, spunem rapid.
La cum arată pe mute, o să-i bată totem.
Bă, știi ce ziceam eu și ce spuneam? Susțin talentele pe român.
Bă, e crazy. Bă, mă bucur că e sincer. Bă, omul e sincer, asta e puțin aiurea, gen, adică să vină acum să afle organizatorii sau oricine din echipa de acolo că, bă, nu-și susține echipa. Da, na. Mă bucur că e realist. Aici n-am ce comenta, mă bucur că e realist, Agaci. În continuare, nu zic nu, susțin și eu Talent Lab pentru ei, doar pentru ei, dar în rest, nu știu.
Da? Susținem. N-avem nimic împotrivă legat de treaba asta, dar trebuie să fim și realiști. Și în situația în care Mocanel a fost descalificat și a fost eliminat Agaki din echipa Talent Lab, noi o susținem în continuare, dar devotat dacă ar fi să câștigați puncte, v-am spune că ar câștiga repli totemul. Că na, vrem să vorbim realitatea, cum s-ar spune, înțelegeți? Și să
corect.
Fără dar și poate aveam 70% șanse să-i batem pe totem, 60-70%, pentru că Joker mi-a dat tag pe serverul de Tier B+, unde sunt toți playerii pro și mă căuta pe site-uri.
Era disperat.
Mă căuta Joker să vadă ce browser jucăm, îmi căuta contul, îmi căuta browser, îmi căuta compuri, ține jucăm, era un pic speriat practic.
Da. Așa e, că mi-ai zis și chestia asta, așa e, deci aici am zice...
Interesant asta.
Și să fim alături de ei, va fi greu să facă ceva, probabil, dar dacă se vor califica, chiar o să fie uimitor. Versus FUT va fi greu să treacă. Ce zici din componență cu tine, treceați de FUT? Nu, sunt rege ăștia.
Mai probabil 3-0, o să-i bați.
Nu poți, a?
Aș câștige 100% și World Champion.
Mă omoară reclamele astea.
Și Humble versus Pig, ce ai votat?
Îi bate Humble.
Deci îi bate Humble, după aia Navi versus Team Heretics?
Îi bate Navi 100%.
Îi bate Navi, aia ziceam și eu.
Se potrivesc bine rău cu Navi.
Ok, și după aceea...
Bă, la Navi nu înțeleg, au fost dragi la Navi acum, ce s-a întâmplat, Bine, și-o dat retire, dar cine au venit ca și replacement la Navi? Poate vorbesc prostii, nu știu.
FUT versus Repli Totem, dacă ar fi?
Îi bate.
FUT-ul, nu?
Îi bate foto, da, îi bate 100%.
Ok, și după aceea o să fie Humble versus Navi?
Să fie, posibil, nu mergi greu.
Eu zic că Humble.
Da, Humble.
Da.
Da, și finala ca de obicei Humble.
Finala FUT cu Humble și bate FUT.
Îi bate foto, 100%, le dă 3-0.
Ce zici, dacă ajunge Guesti și nu mai pune ăștia vreo interdicție la campionatul mondial din Tokyo, Japonia?
Ei câștigă 100%.
Câștigă FUT-ul.
Nu le ia nimeni, nici.
Da, chiar... Mamă, ce-am apăsat. În fine, stai.
Mai pune ăștia vreo interdicție la campionatul mondial din Tokyo, Japonia?
Ei câștigă 100%.
Câștigă FUT-ul.
Păi bă, asta la fel, o să fie interesant cu Guesti dacă îi dau permisiune să meargă în Japonia, efectiv, că el nu a putut să vină la Brawl Cup, că au avut interdicție. Chiar îți curios dacă reușesc să facă cumva să vină acum în Japonia. Vezi că aici e cap masiv, chiar îți curios de situația asta. Înțeleg.
Nu o să fie niciun 3-2. O să fie ori 3-0, ori 3-1.
Da. Asta zic și eu, bă, deci FUT-ul sunt incredibili. Oamenii ăștia farmează la bani la greu. Deci, nu știu, sincer să nu se certe între ei sau să nu se întâmple ceva. Eu zic că ăștia o să facă bani mulți.
Mersi că ai zis, Ario, stai. Bă, mi s-a blocat web-ul. Uitați-mă unde v-am spawnat. M-am spawnat sus. You see, Freeze, am văzut. Mersi. Sper că nu-i de mult timp, o să mă uit pe filmare, eventual dacă e. Bă, de vreau și eu să fac episod direct și nu prea merge atât de nice, jur. Da, Astrale. Bă, dar mă enervează și că e chat-ul în engleză. Stați puțin cât am luat acum rapid pauză să mă uit. Sper că nu a fost de mult timp, dar nu cred. Nu a fost de mult timp, nu e ok. Deci, Câștigă reputație, eu cu tine curent echipa perfectă, noui. Noui, pe nou l-a luat. O confirmat deja Brawl Stars Championship și chiar el. Fei, vezi că ești Freeze, ești Enderman. Mersi. Ia mă cum merge. Mai apăsați bă pe like-ul, bă, deci vreau, de asta fac episod direct. Fac episodul, îl editez. Și fac un thumbnail din ăla turbat să-i enervez pe toți, o să vedeți voi ce thumbnail gătesc. Bun, ne întoarcem aici la
de-a lungul timpului.
Mult prea mare diferența între playeri, skill diff mult prea mare.
Dar de ce, mă, frate? Ce are egoistii, mă?
Au drafturile, nu știu, au niște drafturi făcute mult prea bune și joacă mult prea bine în echipă, se coordonează mult prea bine și au modul ăla agresiv fiecare din echipa.
Deci, bă, Guesti mi se pare ceva anomalie. Angel Boy, da, mi se pare un tip foarte agresiv, care joacă agresiv. Și înainte mi se părea că, bă, încerca să care multe echipe, și în Totem anul trecut și în ce echipe a mai fost el, deci. Și nu, mi se pare... I-a pus Dumnezeu mâinile în cap, atât am de zis, nu știu. Este și el jucător bun, dar simt că parcă i-a pus Dumnezeu mâinile în cap de are așa chimie și sinergie.
Poți joace agresiv, la fiecare poți joace pasiv, sunt perfecți, joacă și agresivitate și pasivitate, joacă orice.
Da, așa e, mai dreptate, nu știu, dar de ce, mă, frate, că Guesti mi se pare că face diferența, de ce? Că am văzut că nu face și niște movement, nu e ceva extraordinar, știi, să păstreze distanța între brawleri, să nu încaseze damage sau care e cazul?
Da, știu.
Ce vorbești, mă?
Practic, nu știu cum să spun.
Toți pixelii,
toate bug-urile, toți pixelii jocului știu absolut orice.
Bun, și aceste recompense sunt toate pe care puteți să le câștigați săptămâna aceasta, dacă reacționați duminica aceasta, după aia săptămâna următoare pe America avem celelalte, cu spray-ul acesta, cu player icon și așa mai departe. Acum, haideți să intrăm pe joc, în concluzie, până să intrăm acum să jucăm chiar împreună cu Mocanel. Spune-mi tu mie ce să nu facă băieții, care să fie învățătura. Ce ai învățat?
Vor să fac, dacă vor să joci competitiv, să nu boosteze, să... Primul rând să nu ai pe cont cumpărat, asta e unul la mână, după din gustul. Dacă ai cont cumpărat, n-ai nicio șansă să treci de fair check.
Da, te verifică după istorie.
Da, te ajută să vede că nu-i contul tău. Doi la mână, nu bustați, cele mai importante. Pentru că altfel nu aveți șanse, în caz de calificați la multi, practic, o să fiți banați.
Da.
Vă jucați degeaba. Și cel mai mult, practic, ca să aveți o șansă să jucați la multi, să treceți din ziua a doua și după din ziua a doua, ziua a treia, trebuie să vă jucați cât mai mult, că dacă vă jucați 2-3 ore pe zi, n-aveți nicio șansă să faceți.
Scrim-uri cât mai multe.
Scrim-uri, antrenamente, dar dacă dai versus echipe slabe, te joci degeaba, că practic nu o să poți progresa, deci trebuie să dovedești ceva la Montiu, să bați și tu, nu știu, o echipă mai bunicică, ca să te ia cineva în vizor, să zici că, bă, uite, joacă cât de cât ok, ia încercați și voi un antrenament cu ei, și să jucați foarte mult ranked, că acolo vă exersați.
Da.
Și învățați să jucați toți brawlerii cât mai...
Nu. Îmi pare rău, Agaci, dar nu pot să fiu de acord cu rank. Cu un căcat pot eu să susțin sau să promovez rankul când îmi dă o mizerie. Dacă e strict pentru antrenament să exersez în compe, sigur. Dar niciodată nu pot eu. Hai frate, mă bag la rank. Mai ales că din master o scos team-ul, adică te joci numai solo. Nu pot, nu. Pur și simplu nu susțin ideea de rank. Îmi pare rău, dar aici chiar ai dat-o în bară grav. Cum că ca să zici că te antrenezi la rank când primești așa pedepse? Că ești și tu om, nu poți 1v3. Te pun acum să faci tu 1v3 versus Team Heretics, Novo Esports. Păi nu poți. Să mai zici tu după că te antrenezi la fucking rank. Pur și simplu nu.
Așa este. Și fii atent, am o propunere pentru tine, Mocanele. Dacă facem la acest episod, m-am gândit, peste 5.000 de like-uri, că am spus clar, nu boostați, nu cumpărați conturi, nu faceți absolut nimic legat de treaba asta. Dar eu am voie ca să te iau pe tine ca antrenor, da?
Da.
Și pe tine și pe ei, dacă e, bineînțeles. Ce zici dacă facem peste 5.000 de like-uri acest episod? Să ne punem, dar nu cred că luna asta, că mai sunt cu abilități, eu mă ajung la trofee, bla bla, să fac cu 220.000 de trofee, chiar cu Wendy când va veni Prestige 3, să facem o serie poate la rank să joc, dacă nu va veni update-ul la rank următorul sezon, gen următorul update, să jucăm și să mă antrenați, să fac și eu pro-ul ăsta. Ce zici?
Pro, să-ți dau practic coach?
Da, un fel de coach și antrenor.
Practic să zici picuri respective, să se pe partea respectivă, schimbă lane.
Da. Că asta avem voie, nu interzis.
Da, nu interzis.
Deci asta nu interzis, putem să luăm antrenor.
Dacă facem Mădălin Pro la Rank e sfârșitul lumii.
Deci dacă faci peste 5.000 de like-uri, asta se va întâmpla. Depinde doar de voi să apăsați.
Nu faci niciodată 5.000 de like-uri, visează. Îmi pare rău, sunt și o realist, Mădăline, dar visează.
Ce brawler îți place practic să joci și eu o să încerc în așa fel să te pun să joci brawler respectiv, ca să știu că te și descurci cu ei.
Da, așa e, acum numai să mă și eu obișnuiesc, că trebuie să mă mai joc.
Eu nu pot să te pun să joci brawlerii mei, dar ție nu-ți plac sau nu știi să-i joci.
Da, așa este. Hai să te bag aici pe contul ăsta, trebuie pe cont secundar să te adaug, nu? Îți dau imediat codul să intră să-și la taura asta. Și gata, băi, suntem aici, alături de Roza, Cal, Angelo, Eza. Îi dau cu Roza așa. Dau așa, iau gadgetul pe voce și de Yusti, de Zero Bush. Bă, că merge oricum, nu au nicio șansă. Deci suntem aici alături de pe voce și de Yusti, de Zero și de ei. Ei de care am spus mai devreme că să susținem și că a rămas singurul român, duminică, care va juca, dar va juca cu 2 străini, cu 2 nemți de aici. Ei, ce părere ai? O să ai emoții?
Nu, dar trebuie să jucăm bine. Dar până acum...
Dar ce emoționat e, ei mânca la tata.
Era altceva cu Agatia?
Da.
Dar care-i faza? Oricum ăștia au avantaj foarte mare nemții, că au pingul bun.
Amândoi sunt nemți.
Păi zic, că sunt nemți amândoi.
Dar mie n-am mai jucat de mult.
N-am mai jucat competitiv. Și asta este problema.
Și că a fost cu echipier cu Sunfire. Și zice, Sunfire zice că au sinergie și nu prea se vede.
Nu se vede sinergia. Bă, ce fuge ăla cu cioara. E lejer, bă, e lejer rău de tot. Hai că mă duc eu pe aici să bat. Trebuia să le pe Iusti. Făcea față. Bă, bune că era mai bine Iusti.
Nu, fără nicio mișto, fără nimic, că chiar era mai bun.
Băi, cine a fost ăla? Să joace cum eu.
Ai sinergie, avea de toate. Dar acum...
A uitat de sinergie.
Da, mai bine luăm pe Iusti, pe cuvânt. Hai că am 4 aici. Fusion pe ceva?
Da.
Fusion pe Cindy, ok. Și mai avem blinguri. Suntem la următorul, Brawl. Cred că aveți și voi la fel, nu tot la fel mapele astea. Da. Deci pe Brawl cred că aș putea să iau... Și lăudau cu video. La Scream sau la ce v-a dat? Am văzut că tot timpul va da 9-1, că și lăudau cu video. La Scream sau la ce v-a dat?
Team Heretics.
Team Heretics-ul, da.
Ți-au pus asta undeva?
Păi parcă văzusem pe Mimo.
Au postat organizația noastră.
Organizația voastră, ok.
Da, nu au postat.
M-am ține pe ei.
Că i-aș dau și ei seama.
Da, știu.
E ce știi, posibil?
Bă, dar chestia asta mi se pare critică organizațiilor, adică, bă, face atât de mult, bă, marketing puțin turbat, efectiv, adică postează mult, nu neg, dar mi se pare puțin ciudat marketingul la Talent Slab și turbat puțin, dacă mă întrebați pe mine.
Camaru să nu vină?
Da, zicea Joker că nu era în internet de 2 zile.
Cum?
Dar streamereau doar numai cu pick-up-uri.
Și mă dă câte caturi odată aici.
Să aveți noroc și să treceți de ei.
A dat cu Covers și cu Ciro. Sau cu cine?
Da, Ciro ăla practic a fost în ziua a doua. Nu poate să ia pe el. Și Covers e banat în complet.
Bă, cine
Nu mai au cum să iau pick-up până. Și ori joacă, ori nu joacă. Nu mai e de la pick-up.
Ok, și întrebarea următoare, dacă îi băteți. Banii se vor face jumate sau ia Agaki 2000 de euro? Jumate că bate o echipă cum ar veni. Mamă, păi se face și el, are și el totuși.
Exact cum ziceam, exact cum am menționat și eu pe parcursul episodului, adică și ăla trebuie să aibă ceva de câștigat, că s-o băga totuși.
Ce joace acum? Hai să joace minutul ăla, mă,
Și cum ar fi să-ți ia banii, mocănele, și să rămâi fără bani?
N-are cum, că a semnat
contract.
Da, așa e. Hai că iau ieșit de data asta. Așa, cu scuși cu ăsta, dă-i, let's go.
În privat, nu vrei să ne luați pe noi?
Da.
Se gândeau și ei că fac și ăsta, să fără bani.
Da, atâta timp cât e contract, n-are cum să fugă cu banii.
Sunfire a zis că e prieten cu meu, și știi.
Pe am vorbit cu Linei, cum a jucat Linei la Cozac, luna trecută.
Bă, dar joacă, mă, frate, la Brawl League-ul ăla, nu glumă. Cum a lăsat vestea asta?
Am vorbit un pic cu Linei și a spus Linei că el nu-i dă banii lui Fei.
S-ar putea să ia el pe tăs.
Chiar că nici măcar nu împarte bani. Adică cum adică omul ăla s-a chinuit să joace, s-a calificat și tu-i fur banii pe ce? Că ai venit să joci un meci?
Da, uite, da, de tot Liga. Hai mă, cații. Mai sar, mă, te uite și pe ăsta. S-a distrat, s-a dat în 2 năuși.
2 ore înainte, cred că, alegem mapele și pe aceea trebuie să zicem și globul de noi.
Mamă, fii atent, am extra large. Ia mă să vedem cine dă. Deci avem un Fusion pe PM și acum mai avem un Fusion. Oricum skin mai lipsește doar cel pe Kenji și pe Meg. Că mi-a picat până și la pe Greek, îți dai seama, legendar.
Măi, de ce mi-a picat la pe gri?
Și pe Mo e tare rău de tot de că avem Ozon și am Mo, Giant, Carl, Kaze. Cred că iau Mo ca Fusion, mă fac nasoală. Nasoală rău de tot, mai bine iau Mo și trec acolo. Ia că avem și eu recompensă aici, ca o drop. Epic, dăm credite. Da, mă, 150 de credite, bine. E mai bine ce puteam să iau. Lasă-mă că eu rupi cară și pe meu tu și pe toți. Stă full control.
Da,
Hai că nu mai mult și să terminăm și episodul, ok.
Nu mai joacă, cum ai jucat la... Nu mai joacă, cum. Nissan Fire nu mai...
Să joci numai obit.
Nissan Fire nu mai joacă, cum. Mai joacă.
Zici tu că și-a pierdut interesul sau zice Gaugă?
Nu-i motivat?
Da, adevărul că nici motivația nu e.
Nu mai joacă, cum nu mai joacă la... Că ne-a calificat.
Da, mă, nu-i făcea la spațiu de rău pe mapă. Nu-i făceam mult pe mapă.
Bă, sincer, regret că... Când am vorbit cu Agaki, am fost foarte bucuros, deci m-am uitat la finală, am fost foarte bucuros de asta la Upper Bracket, că v-ați calificat din prima, dar și trist că știam de ce va urma. Aia a fost
bine acum decât mai târziu.
Da, am și eu.
Asta da, sincer.
Decât da, nu.
Da, așa e, ai dreptate, că oricum n-aveai ce să faci în situația
Deci
asta.
în perioada asta s-au jucat cam toată lumea, ori la Challenger, ori la Monty. Noi n-aveam cum să luăm un player care a jucat în ziua a doua.
Da.
Trebuia să luăm unul în ziua 1. Dar nu știu ce e regula asta. Nu poți să iei un jucător care a jucat în ziua a doua.
Da, așa e.
Am ajuns să luăm pe mute. Mute n-am mai jucat la un Monty de ani de zile.
Ia să vedem că acum avem decisiva.
E al treilea Monty al lui.
Dar ăsta, de fapt nu, ăsta a fost filmat ieri episodul.
Am Carl cu Giant.
Mă gândeam că acum a fost filmat.
Aveam un col, mă spar peretele ăsta.
Nu?
Are coduri.
Hai că e 1v2.
Mamă, l-a făcut.
Iar pierdem cu aia.
Eu n-am fusion, bă, băiatule. Am hyper cu Jesse.
Hyper.
Hai, ne păstram Piper aia. Dacă n-ai băut.
Mort? Hai că mort.
Gata, am terminat și ultimul match, am făcut win-ul la forță și nu mai avem nimic altceva decât stați după ultimul. Da, chiar stai așa că avem smoothie. Avem un singur item. Și bling-ul, yay! Mi se pare că mai dă unul? Încă un smoothie că ai terminat asta de tot? Sau nu mai? Că e motura luat de ieri. Apare animația aceasta. Ok. Și asta a fost. Ezitat. După aia spune că New Tower, băi, tare update-ul ăsta până acum, adică ai mai multe chestii de făcut față de sezonul trecut, dar cu fusion-ul ăsta e mega incorect dacă să ne gândim. În fine, cam asta a fost și episodul, îi mulțumesc mult lui Agaki, aka Canal, suntem aici alături, exact cum a spus și de ei, de Justizi Roxel, îi ținem pumnii lui ei duminică, vom face live oricum și vom reacționa, vom comenta finalele de Brawl Stars pe Europa, că sunt cele mai spectaculoase și ne vedem atunci, adică mâine când vedeți episodul acesta ne vedem pe live, de la ora cât? De la 3 încep finale, deci cred că până la 3 să...
Vă aștept și la mine pe live, cel mai dacă vrea cineva mâine, poate o să fac și eu live cu reacție, deci da, vedem. V-am pupat, like, subscribe, toate alea la episod.
Așteptăm și să stăm acolo cu emoții pentru băieți să-i susținem. Poate reușesc să fac o magie, nu se știe niciodată. Pa, pa!
Bun, gata. Eco. Nu îmi zic că s-a auzit cu eco acum pe la final, nu cred. Stai așa, stai. Aici s-a blocat web-ul. Da. Ce părere aveți de situația asta cu banurile? Eu sunt curios cum o să meargă episodul. Eco, ia stai. Că acum verific.
Așa iau gadgetul de voce și de UC și de zero.
Organizația noastră.
Serverul de Tier B+, unde sunt toți playerii pro și
Hai că nu s-a auzit mult eco.
pe site-uri.
Era disperat.
Mă căuta Joker să vadă ce
Hai că nu s-a auzit mult din reacție cu eco. E ok, e ok.
căuta compuri, ține, zic că mi era un pic speriat practic.
Blocat web-ul.
Prea bine în echipă, se coordonează mult prea bine și au modul ăla agresiv fiecare din echipa.
Deci bă, ca să zici că stați că știu că se aude acum la Frank când primești așa pedepse. Că ești și tu om, nu poți 1v3. Te pun acum.
Poți să te pun să joci baralii mei, dar ție nu-ți plac sau nu știi să-i joci.
Da, așa este. Hai să te bag aici pe contul ăsta. Trebuie pe consecvență. E pe cuvânt. Hai că am 4 aici. Fusion pe ceva?
Da.
Fusion pe Sandy, ok.
Nu mai e de la
Ok, și întrebarea
Trebuia să citim mai devreme că am văzut, dar trebuia să verific.
Oricum skin mai lipsește doar cel pe Kenji și pe Meg. Că mi-a picat până și la Fagric, îți dai seama.
Dar oricum nu prea mai... Dar nu înțeleg de ce. Trebuia să fac setări mai bune, că mă enervez la acum. Dar nu înțeleg de ce. Dar cred că sau. Cred că știau de ce era. Cred. Mă supăr acum, mă enervez. Să vedem ce mai facem acum, ce se mai întâmplă cu finalele. Nici nu știu cât e scorul, am stat pe episodul ăsta de react din jumătate de oră, e o oră. Bine, mult spus o oră, dar am de dat furcă la el.
Of frenzy. Ghosty has played this set absolutely beautifully. A slowdown there on Takuru. It's all three members of Frenzy just forcing themselves into help on the point, but Ghosty's got a hypercharge. He's revving up to go.
Ok, se aude bine. Bă, deci am o fixație. Mie că trebuie să refac episodul de react, sincer. 35, 28. Stați puțin, chat. Cam e fixația mea, piticii mei pe creier. Da. Aici îmi pare rău și pentru mă, dar e pește, face mult timp. Asta da, corect. Da, mereu mi se pare. Interviu de la cineva. Se joacă de pe bătaie. Screenshot. Chiar, mamă, a blocat web-ul. Uitați-mă undeva. Enderman. Mersi. Deci, și nu... Ce vorbi? Nu. Îmi iau trigă, fiți iar, mama ta, episod să fie. Da. Urăsc când nu îmi fac setările bine. Că, mamă, aș zice eu ceva acum, dar mă abțin. Mamă, aș zice eu ceva acum, dar mă abțin. Mamă. Nu cred că joc cu entitatea, nu cred. Sunt live de 3 ore. Merge deloc. Cred că o să mai stăm să se joace finalele aici și... Sau? Mamă, dar cât mai iau de jucat! Cine mai e pe live? Ziceți cine mai e pe live. Ziceți, bă, cine mai e pe live. Mai e cineva? Gen, chiar acum stau ca prostul și mă uit. Mai e cineva?
Like the draft of SK Clawless a bit better.
It's more formulaic, I would say. I think I almost have this joke that the closer a draft looks to something that Foot Esports would draft, which is defining the meta now, then the more I think you'd favor. And when you see
So you just love
here for their team, Sigosi going for another aggressive play there, but is answered by that. Sunny pointed out, it's a timer basically. It's Frenzy that really feel the pressure. Now they have to generate a big one push to try and catch up. And right now, I mean, looking at the mid situation, I don't think they've even, made much headway there.
And it's going to be tough into an Otis and a Ruff's just constantly pinching you down. Hypercharge Griff, though, could warm up the Kaze onto the safe. If they need to go now, it's now or never, but it's still, Chuck is dealing so much damage to this safe. That is another crack gone. And it doesn't matter, since the heist changes, they're just able to keep the lead once you get the lead. And he's also repositioned his Chuck post as well to get even more damage. Wow, this guy's insane. Like, to think about that so quick in the moment to get that extra bit of damage. Really clean Chuck gameplay.
Who would have known that the Chuck Enjoyers have their Chuck tech? There's a whole subreddit dedicated to, figuring out how to get 4 polls on it and get like 10,000 in one crack, But that's not what we saw. There was a little microplay that they made there, but it's really just the overarching strategy, right? Like, SK Golas, they're not the one that needs to play incredibly well. They just need to follow the plan. Frenzy is the one that has to basically summon their inner, you know, crazy raccoon here and basically out-diff right now, which is what's happening. I mean, they are breaking inside the base here. Knife is going to be the last one standing there, and this is looking mighty promising for Frenzy Gaming.
I'm really liking the change of Robo Retreat in this meta, and that's allowing him to get into the corner, but Rust can just cancel that one out and cancel their whole strategy. He can peek around walls as well. He can wall break as well, so a great adaptation there. Kaz is going to go in and nearly get a crack onto the safe. If a Griff Super can be popped, Coin Shower's just barely going to miss out, but Rico Super's going to confirm that crack. Much better from Frenzy Gaming right there. They just need to apply pressure no matter what. And now the Buffy's actually going to get activated for like the first time I've ever seen.
Da, primim ban permanent, știam. Păi, bro!
Yeah, the final push there, the final curtain has fallen there on the side of SK Kalala. The save is going down, Coin Shower and so on.
Bro, unde ai fost când am făcut react? Când am vorbit despre subiectul ăsta? Ireal, pere, mi-au trigger. Simt că mi-au trigger.
This time they beat the Chuck clock.
It's like Chuck, it feels like Chuck to me. Every single meta just gets a tiny bit worse and worse and worse. And it maybe the time is running out for him. Like, the strategies are just evolving and with more damage, especially with Griff, with a recent change to keep change star power, he's just able to shred the safe if he gets onto it. You've got Rico can be a good damage dealer. You've got Kaze as well. So I like the strategy that time around. Just leaving the Chuck, like I said, either you've got to defend it, which we clearly can't with their composition, or you just got to run at the opponents and just hope that you can take the 2 versus 3 so far. So I can sense this set. It's going to be a little bit more tenser.
So a big play there made by the Chuck, tried to go in there early, get that final post down, succeeded in doing so, so should be able to get this trade going here. But Frenzy, their position is not bad either. They've got 2 brawlers that made it through. No, not really there. In the back, Knife really got a pinch out, and Ghosty, this is left unattended.
He's got quite a funky setup right there. I was thinking at first maybe he misplayed it, but that looks kind of intentional to me. Getting an extra bit of damage, and that's a little bit better for SKC this time around. And now they've already got the lead, and this is the problem though with a Chuck. Once you get the lead, it's near enough impossible to come back. But some damage raining down here from the Griff. Hypercharges are galore here from SKC though, and they're just pinching to perfection. And look, Chuck's just going to go in, get more damage. It's a 50% lead. It's basically over.
And looking at the micro adjustments that SKC have made, notice how much of the map that they've opened up as well. Getting a buff now to Ghosty, this should be it. I mean, yep, it's gonna go in there. There's not much else Frenzy can do here. We're just waiting for the safe to pop. Good defense from them, but they're basically way too far behind. Look at the base of SK Kalalas. They preemptively opened up their entirety of the base so that the Rico would get no value from it as well. And it's just remarkable game sense adaptations being displayed there by SK Kalalas as they finesse yet another set.
Like you said, it was perfect adaptations. Can't even get that word out of my mouth. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful because it opened up the map, and that was literally exactly what Frenzy did. They went down that side, they overloaded, but they can't really overload when there's just so much space, so they can just get pinched out so easily. So really well played there from SKC, and they're kind of cruising so far. They got a bit of difficulty there, but they just seem to be rising to every occasion.
They definitely have what it takes to take at least a set of the hands of SK Kalalas. Come close so often. This definitely looked like it is a winnable match here for Frenzy. I did see a couple of missed Kaze ults on the save. You think that could have something to do here as well with how SK Kalalas won this one?
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on it. I felt like the Choo Choo Man might have done far more impact than a couple Kaze supers. I don't want to say comp problems, but once I saw in game number 3 when the Ruffs opened up the entire map, honestly, I think you could put 3 Spen LCs in his prime on the team, and I don't think he'd win.
Nu, chiar mă supăr. Am vorbit adineauri. Acum jumătate de oră am vorbit pe chestia asta, așa.
You beat the Japanese
team.
You're still that good.
I guess so, but that was when there was so many fewer buttons.
You're still that good, and you still decided to join us instead on the desk, so we're truly awesome.
Nu te juca cu random ca Sedi, mă chemai pe mine, chemai pe Electro, băgam noi.
impressed with his gameplay. The griff, the chuck setups, just
Cât mă
everything seems
enervez
clean.
că
He's not really making any
trebuie să
mistakes.
refac
He's
reacția,
making
trebuie să
the plays
refilmez
that
că
you
s-a
need
auzit
to
în
from
eco.
him. Now moving on to knockout gold on Gulch. This is still an opportunity. Knockout for me, it's always the
Păi
opportunity
au
for
boli
the
random,
lesser
indeed.
team to maybe pick up something, maybe come up with some strategies when the gap
Nice,
closes
nice.
in.
Păi oricum
They
le
can
iei,
find
mă,
a few
dacă
kills and
deschizi
actually
150 de smoothie
Maybe it's
drop-uri.
time to bring out that Kit Mortis again, but Kit is banned out by SK Kalalas. They saw the cheese coming from a mile away.
SK Kalalas is lactose intolerant. I'm just gonna put it out there. Ban out Doug, ban out the kid. They don't even need to ban the Grey here because that's basically Grey Doug, right? I think they've read this perfectly. They want to clean this one up 3-0. Honestly, Spen, when I looked at the cams, it doesn't look like these guys are in any way phased or excited about LCQ. Like, if you're on the cusp of qualifying for the last chance qualifying, you know, win one more set and you're there, is this the kind of energy that you have in the team?
I mean, yeah, I think it depends because we've seen in the past in Brawl Esports specifically, when someone's over-animated, I mean, I use the example of Samantha quite a lot, right? He was very animated. I wanted to mention the Rico pick because it's excellent on this map in particular. But like I said, you're more animated. Sometimes that can actually affect your gameplay if you're wasting too much energy. So you see a lot of the East Asian teams being very reserved, learning from the GOAT Tensai. You saw as well Zeta in the past. So I think they just need to stay nice, cool, and collected. So Rico, pretty decent pick. They now need something maybe with a bit of range. Yeah, 8-bit. Completely forgot that 8-bit was left open, but picking it into the Pierce isn't that wise.
Yeah, Rico and 8-bit are their most played brawler on this map, so I could have told you that's probably what they're going to pick up here. The Grey comp they actually tried have a 0% win rate, so I don't think they mind too much that that dog is going to be banned out on the left. It didn't really have a high success rate for them, so they got exactly what they want so far. Usually pair it with a Gus as last pick. Let's see if he's actually going to come out on the right. On the left now with Pierce already some range. He's decent into the 8-bit too. Regardless of that, 8-bit is going to be picked up because they feel comfortable with it, and at this point, 2-0 down, they need to start picking what they're comfortable with, what they can win with. Glowy is a brawl we don't get to see too often, but I don't mind it on a map like this one. With Cold, they can completely open up the map, and the more open a map is, the better will that Glowy do too.
Oh, I love it. It's so spicy here in East Asia. You could tell me this is New Horizons, you could tell me it's Goldam Gulch, and I would not be able to tell them apart. I mean, Glowy plus the Colt is basically a mechanical diff, right? You're just flexing on your opponent, gonna tear up the map, let's see who has better mechanics. And a Piper last pick that's basically saying, yeah, you've got this Pierce of the new, you know, the best sharpshooter in town. Guess what? We'll throw it back to 2019. The real best sharpshooter is in town. And is this the weapon span that Frenzy need to finally take a set of their own?
Honestly, I rate it because with Colt and Glober, yeah, you're breaking open the map. It can be good, but also with Glober, I feel like you need a little bit more synergy. There's a lot of damage on the side of Frenzy. That's how you take control over a Glober. You need damage to stop the constant healing, right? And the Pichu's going to get taken down really weak with Glober. It's just going to say, well, you can just get topped up to full health anyway. Rico on the flank. The problem is, once the clock runs down, the map's just going to be completely opened up, and it's not the greatest for Rico, but it's good for the Piper.
I almost feel that, like, SK Kalalas, they're being very injured with the walls they want to break. They're just breaking the walls as they go along when they can get some kind of advantage. They want to, like, open up the map too quickly because it's going to allow Furco on this Piper to just absolutely pop off here. But it's Pichu that's showing us the way there. Now lasering across, and Pichu is being healed up there by Ghost T, who can't be tapped out there. I say that, but he gets brought down immediately. Okay, Frenzy, that's showing up here in Gold Arm Gouge. Another homemade recipe connects to the back. And Pichu can't do anything. 1 versus 3. That's Frenzy's round to take.
That was really icy. I've seen potential clutch there from SKC because 3 members of Frenzy were pretty weak. I was like, maybe they can clutch this one out, but like I was alluding to a little bit here, Piper with some wall break options to break open the map. Rico's actually not as bad in an open scenario as he used to be because you got Bouncy Castle, you got Rover Retreat that you're more than likely to use, so you can escape in situations, and now the Hypercharge has already been earned with just 1 game in. Let's see if you can find the value though, because Colt's doing a great job of keeping him back. Finally, 8-bit has his...
Nu știu, mă gândesc la asta, mă
It's
gândesc.
so good for Frenzy because Goro hasn't got any gadgets left. He can't open up the map just yet. Toridesu's going to work his way down to the bottom of the map. He's going to find those walls, and that's what you want with Rico.
Beautiful spot for him. Now, Kuru has to make a big choice here. Yeah, he's gonna open up the map on the bottom side, just drive Toridesu out of here. And Ghosty's playing with fire. He's got a hypercharge at the ready, and 3 hypercharges pop online. Rico's gonna pop his one, connects with Kuru in the back. And we see Virgo now trying to find another Ghosty. Goes for an aggressive spawn here, pinches out one, trades one for one. It's just 9P Shu versus the world here. But Virgo just needs one more tap to finish this one off. Could auto aim this one down, and that's gonna be Frenzy with the game.
I like it. Like I mentioned, I wasn't too warm to Glowy and Colt together with the Pierce. If they had something a little bit more beefy, I don't know, even like an 8-bit, something that can pressure the opponents, but you just kind of sit in ducks with so much damage raining down on you. The Piper pick is bold though, like you of course need to hit your shots, she's got very slow reload speed, but with the recent damage buff, it completely made sense. So this time around, I'm going to see if Kuru tries a different strategy with his wall breaks here, goes for a clean one over there, not opening the complete map up, but making it less advantageous for Toridesu, but it's just the same scenario here. For me, I think SKC need to strike a little bit faster because once 8-bit gets set up, it just seems like it's impossible to push into.
I agree, 100%. I was expecting Kuru here to maybe even opt to run to speed. Instead, Shu interrupted that train of thought. They're lasered down there by Toridesu, who's gonna get another inside his base. Beautifully played by him. Frenzy now just allowing SKC to walk into their own trap, their own demise. They're allowed to farm things up here. They will concede the set. Toridesu's gonna hypercharge already.
I mean, I did tell you guys about Bouncy Castle. I was the biggest hater. I mean, like removing the heal gadget away from Rico, it hurt so much. But after watching the pros utilize this gadget so effectively, the hypercharge is going to get popped. Just completely whiff it. I felt like he should have waited for his gadget to slow and then use the hypercharge super. Regardless, I think that's SKC. They need to use this opportunity. That's such a big waste of utility.
Huge opening for them. And I love the micro changes that we're seeing on the side of SKC, not looking to open up the maps here, but 9P Shu! No respect to little piggy here. Furco's gonna bring him down, and Ghosty on the run in the back. 2 versus 3. They need a miracle to clutch this.
It doesn't look very likely right now. Toridesu connecting this slow. That's gonna get really, really weak here, but Glowy just doesn't have the keys to success. The super coming down from Rico is 1. 2 versus 1 now for Kuru. Does he have the ice? He doesn't, unfortunately. Well, there's just too much health on the side of Frenzy. And Frenzy gets a set. This is what I was talking about. These situations, every game's going to be stressful for SKC. Every game you need to lock in. And I felt like the Glowy strategy, and if it was more of a hot zone or a game mode where, I don't know, it's a little bit easy to find value with Glowy, then that was fine. But I think it just played into Frenzy's hands.
I think it was too ambitious, right? You pick up the Pierce, you think you're gonna go for a full black wall break strategy. When the Colt came in, I think none of us had an issue with the Colt. I mean, trying to open up the map, it almost felt like, yeah, Fennel needed to just, sorry, not Fennel, who's thinking about Fennel? SK Kalalas needed to lean fully into the wall break, but instead they did a last minute switcheroo thinking, haha, look, we're so smart, we picked this Glowy thing, Spen hates it, I hate it, Frenzy didn't hate it, they got a free set.
Toridesu, the absolute MVP, plays a Rico to perfection here. Second time Frenzy Gaming brings out the Rico here. Really seems to be one of their comfort picks, and I think this is what they need right now. Bring in some of these comfortable brawlers that you love to play, and it now finally works out. I mean, in the first set, they almost took a game. In the second one, they do take a game, and now they take 2 games and win the set. Beautiful stuff from Frenzy Gaming. They just needed a bit of time to wake up.
I think SKC needs to be banning that Rico. They need to be banning it.
Instead of the dog?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the dog because you need to eradicate the cheese, right? But now moving on to Bounty Hideout, it's one of these ones. It's squeaky bum time, as the Brits like to call it. Because they really...
Could you explain that to the non-British?
He's like, everybody likes to call it that. I'm like,
Art isn't here, so you're gonna have to tell me, what is squeaky bomb time?
That just means it's getting tense. Like, this is as tense as it gets. You're on the edge of your seat. SKC can't afford to make any more mistakes. They really can't, because I know Fennel do have to make a miracle run, but sometimes momentum like that can just bring out the best in you, so I would not want to be dropping any more sets here. Surge, first pick on Hideout. I mean, it's an open map. Surge is fine, though, because if you push up to the left-hand wall, you can just jump onto the opponent, whatever. So you probably need to pair it with some support. Let's see what Frenzy pick here.
It's a brawler that's getting tougher and tougher to punish as well. Now that they've reworked that second star power, you no longer have to work that hard to get to that coveted level 2 and stay there. You start the game with it, basically, which is one of Surge's biggest weaknesses. It will allow SKC to, you know, not have to worry about
Move those feet
Mortis,
to the boombox
Edgar
beat.
that have been jump at you. And that's exactly why Frenzy are going to pivot in the opposite direction. They're not, you know, thinking to be Zeta Division and first pick up a Mortis here. They just want to go for something safe here. The Brock makes an appearance. About time, actually, Sonny.
We didn't see him too often today yet, just once as a cosplay. That's really the only one he showed up. Super strong now with his new buffies, and I like him also to open up the map, whereas Surge doesn't really have the most range. Brock will come in handy. Pearl coming in for a bit of the similar reason. A brawler that was second most picked in East Asia last month now also has her first appearance today, can open up the map super strong into anything like a Surge, like a mech, something that is mid-range and wants to come in close. Now on the left, as we already mentioned, we can still easily pick up something to get that blue star early, the Mortis for example, the Kaze, because on the right we don't have anything to address them too much.
punk.
She is coming in here for SK Kalalas. Is this going to be paired up with something that will, you know, continue to break the walls open? Or is this just a response to that Brock selection? It's saying that, you know, if you open up the map, we also have a sharpshooter on our side. I think it has pretty decent matchups into the Pearl as well. So I don't really mind it, but I would love to see SK Kalalas pick up something to just get that blue star out of the way early on. The last thing you want is to be playing into this Frenzy comp and you yield blue star to them. So I need to see some Mortis, some priority. Yamina could be good, but it is slightly slower. If Frenzy are feeling spicy, they could still lean back into that Mortis as a last pick.
Potentially, it's a tough one. Mina in the right hands is absolutely devastating, but into a Pearl can... actually, I don't know. Good Minas can really juke out like a Pearl or Griff's main attacks well. So let's see how good the Mina is on the side of SKC. But yeah, like I said, I think Brock was really, really underrated from East Asia so far. Now they're going to go with the Ruffs. So I don't mind Ruffs in other settings, but it's a very... Basically, they're going to call it in football terms part of the bus. They're just going to sit back, soak up all the pressure. They're probably going to run the field promotion. Is it field promotion?
Yeah.
The one that
doesn't break the wall, right?
Yeah, doesn't break the wall. It builds up a lot of health for you and your team. So it's going to be hard for Amina to push into that.
But Mina will get the blue star for the side of SK Kalala, so at least they can lean back at the beginning, whereas Frenzy has to push, and as Spen just put so correctly, their comp doesn't really want to push, they want to lean back and farm health.
We're gonna have to see if Frenzy Gaming can allow Fennel to keep their dreams alive here, or if SK Kalalas will clinch this one out and go to the last qualifying midfield. It's a great start there for SK Kalalas, already getting that blue star, and with Ghosty making such big pressure in the back. And the shoot is falling low there. Oh my god, clipped there by the Pearl at the last second, burnt to death, and that's going to be Frenzy that take the lead.
And what I've noticed as well is, well, with Ruffs, I completely forgot that it's a great counter to Surge, because you can either use one-star power that gives you health or break open the map, and you've got the sandbags as well. You've got the pinch ability as well, Brock to open up the map as well. There's so much utility for Frenzy, but Brock's gonna jump in here onto Ghost. He barely survives. I was just caught off guard because he was using jump. I was like, surely we're gonna break open the map to counter Surge.
I love it. I love this innovation there. They're punishing this Surge while they're weakening the Pierce all at the same time. It's actually genius, I think. I mean, now the Rocket Rain comes in, breaks up some of the map, but it's really just opening up this entire left side of the map, which is a no man's territory. They're gonna have to swap Kuru over it just to get some advantage there.
And this time gadget there is gonna become crucial as Surge goes in the jump as well. Everybody, I don't even know what happened there. Ghosty barely survives. They've got the blue star, but just need to find one more kill now. So I think that was quite clever there from Ghosty. Don't overextend, keep the blue. He's trying to build up his super as much as possible here. But as the game goes on, it's gonna be harder and harder for SKC to try and find a kill. Pearl is so beefy. Kuru's gonna go in regardless. He's so weak. Now Ghosty goes in, cleans up a kill, and there's the swing.
15 seconds left on the clock, and you can see SK Kalalas, they're leaning into the defense here. Hypercharge is committed there by Kuru, gonna be chunking Furco there in half. It's a hypercharge there from Tori. There's Unaipi, she's gotta be so careful. Pops the shield here. It's the Rocket Rain going for Kuru. Can't find it for Ghosty. He's the one that goes too aggressive. Wanted to space things out for his team. Didn't work out in the end. That's Frenzy that's gonna be taking the game.
Did he miss the third sequence shot?
Yep.
Oh, that's devastating. I thought that's risky going into a Brock with hypercharge, Buffy activated. He just misses out and barely. These type of situations you can't afford to make happen when there's so much on the line. Like I was speaking about, there's just so much on the line. These small little mistakes maybe wouldn't have happened in a lesser pressured environment, but this is as pressured as it gets right now. These small things will always catch up to you. So now again, Blue Star going in the favor of SKC. This is what they would have wanted, but at the same time, like, Surge can't really take advantage of that. He's going to get outranged so heavily, and there goes one wall break already, much quicker than the first time around. So although SKC has the Blue Star, it's looking even better here for Frenzy.
Yep, the plot is still favoring Frenzy. This is a position that, you know, we expected them to be in. We didn't actually expect them to take back the lead there in game number 1. It was meant to be a slow grind to claw back the Blue Star, and that's what we're seeing here with Naipishu already pushed back the last rung, and so long as he maintains level 2, he's a non-factor in this game. Doesn't really have the ability to push up here, has to play hyper-aggressive alongside Ghost T, and that's why you see Frenzy just open up so much of the map, make more of them irrelevant, and a kill eventually should happen.
These are the type of games where, even though it is only 1-0, it is so incredibly tense. Rocket Rain rolling down, and Ghost T's gonna go down. It's disaster here for SKC. 2 sets up. It's looking like a reverse sweep is on the cards here if Frenzy can pick up where they left off in the first game. Now with 30 seconds left, pushing into a Pearl is incredibly hard. Also, Brock and Ruff's treated up. If Ferkel manages to get a third treat, wow, Pearl beefed up is so tough to push into.
It's going to take a miracle here for SK Kalaras to try and claw back this set, lest they have to play the fearsome set number 5. Hypercharge is ready for Ferkel, could pass it over to Dan Charm. He wants it. You see Hypercharge popped there by Tori Desui. This damage can be very deceptive here. Pierce making the push in there, but the Pearl is just too much. Can't catch a single brawler out. Sunny, we're going to a set 5. Our wishes have been answered here in quarterfinal number 4, and Fennel's dreams, ladies and gentlemen, are still alive.
The last 3-2 in this region was in June in the semi-finals. I'm super excited that we finally get to see another match going all the way. And as I said before, it really just looks like Frenzy Gaming needed some time to wake up. Set 1, nothing won. Set 2, game 1. Set 3, they win the set. Set 4, again, they are now awake, and SK Flawless has to change their game plan. All of a sudden, what they did in set 1 and 2 doesn't work anymore.
Just watching back the replay there, you also missed a Mina Super as well. I mean, you can't be too harsh on these players because there's so much on the line, and it was also so close at the end. But these are the small margins, and the small margins you need to capitalize on to get you over the line. And now the momentum swings. This is the exact position that you don't want to be in if you're SKC. Your backs are against a wall, and that was such convincing gameplay from Frenzy. It really was. There wasn't